You're about to listen to TADPOG, Tyler and Dave Play Old Games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet. Hello. I was waiting for it.
He gave us a lot of time to think about it. Hello, Internet.
Buying a book on my phone right now and still did it.
A book you buying?
One of the old school essentials books.
The what
It's
books?
old school essentials. It's a
What's that?
tabletop role playing game.
Oh, okay.
That is pretty much a clone of Basic and Expert Edition of D&D from the 70s. And I already own that classic rule book, but I just found out today that they had released an advanced version, which is essentially for first edition. So
Okay, that's cool.
it's a clone that's pretty similar in spirit, but the rules are a little more easier to access in the book, because a lot of that stuff in first edition I feel like is you gotta like memorize where things are on a page instead of it making sense, where it's like, oh yeah, this rule belongs here in this section, you know.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I'm gonna buy that.
Fallout with mods.
Right, yeah.
So it's there, but quality of life is much better.
Right, yeah, totally.
Well, today, I know we settled on it after the show.
Right, yeah, we forgot to
Yep.
randomize the game on mic.
We had a private randomizer session. The
We
three of
did.
us. Every year. The three of us have to gather. We have to draw a pentagram on the floor, light candles, and spin the randomizer.
Offer it a human soul.
Well, I wasn't going to mention the human sacrifice, but whatever.
Look, I like to be transparent.
Yeah. The more important part is that we
Ruby
do
Baron
this.
Paul Kluhl's soul is gone now. That's what we fed it. If he wants to listen to this and refute it, he is welcome to do that. Let me know when you hear this, Ruby Baron Paul Kluhl.
I traded your soul for some pogs. Some Alf pogs. Remember Alf? He's back in pog form. So anyway, we spun the randomizer in
Still
private.
not ready to do part 2 of Sea of Stars.
No, not yet.
I finished chapter 1, so I'm a third of the way through the game.
Yeah, it's moving kind of slow for me too, for various reasons. Not because of anything with the game, just life gets in the way.
Yeah, there are only about 2 days during the week I get to play it, so
Yeah.
it's just been slow going.
So what did the randomizer pick for us this week?
Krusty's Super Funhouse.
I like that Super isn't like the beginning of that title. It's Krusty's
Krusty's Super Fun House.
Yeah.
That way it doesn't get lumped in with all those other bougie S's.
That's
Well,
right.
there is a regular Krusty's Funhouse for the
That's
NES.
For NES, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I totally forgot Super was in the title. So, yeah. Before we do a deep dive into Krusty's Super Funhouse, what you guys been up to?
Just a lot of, I don't know, it's been a weird couple of weeks. Things just haven't felt normal. I think it's seasonal for me. Things always feel weird and different to me when the season starts to change, especially from summer to fall. I don't know. It's just maybe my sinuses are clearing out or something. I don't know. Everything just seems a little weird. But
Did you get your free Dairy Queen meal, though?
I haven't done that
That
yet.
make you feel
I
better?
wanted to give him another
That's
week.
why you feel
Can
weird.
we go with you?
You should. She said I could bring as many people as I wanted and get free food and blizzards. As far as what I've been watching, aside from I've been like my weekly watch for the current season. Ahsoka, the Star Wars Ahsoka is a really, really good show. High recommend. It's the most Star Warsy show I've seen in a while. So very good shit. Of course, Lower Decks started, the Star Trek Lower Decks, so I've been watching that. But the thing I've been kind of going back to in between watching my weekly shows is Psycho Pass. I mentioned it before. I've gotten most of the way through season 1 of Psycho Pass. It's got like 3 seasons, so I want to say it's been around a while, and it maybe just came to Crunchyroll because they were promoting it really heavily when it first.
Yeah, I remember seeing
several weeks ago. I've really been into Psycho Pass. I've enjoyed it a lot. It's a complicated story to follow, but I think I like it the most because it reminds me the most of Cowboy Bebop. It's got similar animation style, similar protagonists. It doesn't have the same plot. It's a different story altogether, and I touched on that in a previous episode.
Right.
But I do recommend it. It's been a lot of fun to watch. If you get the chance, I highly recommend it. 4 stars. Wisdom Sage says, check it out. As far as everything else goes, of course, I've been playing at Sea of Stars. Play a little Krusty Super Fun House. Takes me back. I played that one, and we'll get into that later.
Okay,
I played
yeah,
that
I wanna know
before.
the history.
And then
With it.
the last 2 days of my life have been when I'm gaming, I'm playing Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
Rolled credits on the story mode last night.
For which character? Does it matter? I don't know because I
it's
haven't played
weird.
through it.
So the way that Mortal Kombat 1 is actually really good game.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly good, and the story mode is heavy on cinematics and story, and it's a really good story. Essentially, spoiler alert, I'm not going to spoil this story, but previous stories. At the end of Mortal Kombat 11, Liu Kang became the Keeper of Time, and he became the guy that basically had the ability to recreate the universe however he saw fit. And his whole thing was, I'm going to recreate the universe where everyone strives for peace, and I'm going to purposely hobble the sorcerers, the Shang Tsung, and what's that one?
Shao Kahn?
No, not Shao
Raiden?
Kahn. The Quan Chi.
Quan Chi. The guy who looks like Uncle Fester with
With
Uncle
face
Fester
paint
and one
muscles.
of the guys from WWF. The spikes.
He does. He's going to hobble them to keep them from being able to get power and corrupt the universe
Can't just
again.
make them not exist.
I guess not.
Okay.
I don't know.
All
But
right.
anyway, it follows this whole story, and throughout the course of the story, you play in different chapters or different characters that you play.
Oh, okay.
So it puts you as Sub-Zero for one, and you get to play as Raiden and Kung Lao, and they're all part of the story mode as it goes forward. And strange new alliances. It's weird. The whole thing is just a complete reboot of the Mortal Kombat universe, and it works. I normally the stuff like that, I kind of have an inner cringe of, they just wrote this and it's kind of dumb and it's, whatever. They're just fitting it in because Mortal Kombat is what it is. And this was actually really engaging. And it was hours and hours and hours of just story and content, but spaced out evenly with fighting and, battles and things of that. There's Test Your Might and all that kind of stuff. Different forms of Test Your Might, which
As
I
there
thought
should be.
were really neat, really good timing. And it would be like one of those moments where it's like, oh shit, because you'd be in a moment in the story, and then it would jump to Test Your Might, and you'd have to like bust down a door by hitting buttons or something, and
Yeah.
if you fail, you die. And then you got to do it again until you can get through it. So I thought that
The
was
door
really,
does a fatality on you.
yeah, it's a mimic door and it bites your head off. No.
Perfect. Sounds great.
So when you get to the end game, and I don't want to say anything about this story because it's actually really crazy the way it works. I'd love to talk about it and spoil some things. Dave and Tyler, I don't know. You don't play fighting games much, do you?
I don't like Mortal Kombat.
Okay, well,
I like Street Fighter, but I don't like Mortal
we'll
Kombat.
spoil it maybe on another episode, but
I'd
like you to play through it
I'd
first.
Like to play
but
it. I'll get
suffice
on
it to
sale,
say that at the end of the game, you get the chance to pick your fighter, and then you go through the end game as that fighter. But I finished so late last night that I didn't see what you do next. But I think if you go back to story mode, it starts from the end game, and you could pick a different fighter and then go through it and see what happens.
Okay.
I think it's a different ending for each character, which is cool.
Yeah.
But and the only kind of bugaboo I had with the whole thing was the end credits are 20 minutes long.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Nah, it was
Final
like
Fantasy 6 per character? Yeah. All right.
I have the credits for the Avengers wasn't for Endgame, and it wasn't this long. I mean, and what sucks is I sat through all the credits, like I was getting things together for today, whatever, and letting it roll. I'd turn my head back around. I had my headphones on. They're still rolling. And I mean, at one point the credits break and you get sort of a stinger.
Like
a mid-credit
intermission.
A mid-credit intermission.
An interminger.
Yeah, and then it just the credits roll and roll and roll, and finally they're done, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna say something like you have unlocked blah or play another cutscene or something. Yeah. Nope, this goes back to the menu. Good job on them credits. That was, I mean, for real, it was like getting to the point I'm like, there's no fucking way this many people worked on this
game.
Did it
loop?
Did they roll again? It was, there had to be 2,500 people or more credited for this game. And it wasn't one of those deals where like at the end of the game where like maybe shout outs to people that contributed,
right,
or like at the end of Sea of Stars we talked about they would probably be running credits with Kickstarter contributors, I should say. Nope, it's just people that worked on the game, and holy fuck, it's like it's a great game, but man, does it really take that many people? Of course, this was the Mortal Kombat, all the different language, all the different
teams
and all the then there was fucking Warner Brothers. They credit literally I think Bugs Bunny got a credit in that game. You know what I mean? Like everyone. I wish Bugs Bunny was a Mortal Kombat fighter. I wish you could do that.
Wait for multiverses to come back.
Yeah, no shit. But I'm not going to probably ever play online because I know better. I know I'm just going to step in, get slaughtered, get mad, step out. But I will probably go back and maybe try to play the end game as different characters again, and then play versus CPU or something. One thing that was weird though is during the fights you never get the opportunity during story mode. You never get the opportunity to do finishing moves.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess because it wouldn't make sense if that character returns.
You can't tear a character in half and then have them immediately be right back in the story.
Right.
Which happens more often than not. That you whip someone's ass and then they join your cause, kind of thing.
So it's like Dragon Ball style.
Yeah.
Oh, we're best friends now.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was Dragon Ball, Naruto.
It is like
One
Piece.
Last chapter. Now I'm your best friend.
It is like that, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty much throughout the entire story, it's like that, but in a good way.
Sure.
So. Big recommend for Mortal Kombat 1 if you're a fan. I did very much enjoy my time with it so far. I'm gonna be honest with myself and say I probably won't go back to it a whole lot, but I have it now and I can play it whenever, so it's cool. So that was what I played this week, and then the only other thing that comes to mind that we did was Dave and I went to Game Galaxy.
Yeah, on Saturday. I had a really nice Saturday.
Had a really good day.
Haven't had a day like that in a really long time.
It was nice. It was laid back. And what was funny is, we drove down. We got caught in the rain in Clarksville, which is like, of course, the only place in the universe it's probably always raining is Clarksville.
That seems right.
It comes down in sheets when we're going through there. That wasn't too bad, but we got there and had lunch, and then it was funny because when we got to Game Galaxy, I didn't see any of you people. For most of the time I was there, we just sort of went. It was kind of like being at the expo. We just sort of went our separate ways, played some games, met back up from time to time, checked in with each other, and then split up again. I played a fuckload of pinball on Saturday and had I had a really good time hanging out with you. And Paul was there, Nate was there, Chandra was there. We had a really good day. So,
and Nate talks about it on the Steam Machine podcast. He beat us to it because I was listening. I was like, oh, I bet he's going to tell the Mortal Kombat story, and he does.
That's what got. I was right? Going there, but Dave, tell us about Mortal Kombat 1 at Game Galaxy.
So, man, on the way up, I had the thought. I was like, because Game Galaxy from time to time will have like tournaments and stuff.
Yeah.
And they mainly have like stand-up arcades and pinball machines, but they do have consoles there too. And on the way up, I had the thought, I was like, dude, wouldn't it be cool if Game Galaxy bought early access to Mortal Kombat 1 and it's set up there for people to play? And we got there. We're checking out the pinball machines. I'm walking around, and me and this like 12, 11, 13-year-old kid simultaneously see that Mortal Kombat 1 is in fact set up, the early access is set up on their PlayStation 5. And like we're both like, whoa! And then I like run to go tell Ian, and he goes to run like tell his friend. And then like by the time Ian and I come back out, that kid and his friend are like sitting there playing, and it's like, okay, keep an eye on this. We were at Game Galaxy for probably 5 hours.
Yeah, we got there about noon, maybe about 12:30, give or take, and we did not leave until almost 5. So I'd say about 4.5 hours.
And we're getting ready to leave. We're like saying our goodbyes, about to say our goodbyes, and I sit down next to Gamebug Prime Nate, who's playing Sonic 2 on, I guess like an emulation station they had set up, and we're just kind of hanging out. And then I see him kind of look over, and he's like, that kid is gone. And we rush over there because that kid's been planted on that motherfucker for like the entire time.
He was that annoying kid at Walmart when you were there with your mom and you wanted to go play Super Mario or something, and there was one kid hogging the machine. That was this kid. I bet he pissed himself.
I think he got up to pee.
Okay.
I think is what happened.
Yeah, he must have been holding on to it hard because he never left that chair. No, I walked through there a lot, and every time it was that
every time
kid.
I walked through, I would check, and he was there because I wanted to try it. And while we were playing, he came out, and like he was standing behind us watching, and he would like kind of had that like Tyrone Biggums like kind of like stance, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't scratching his neck, but he had his arms folded, you know, and he's like rubbing his side, kind of deal.
Yeah,
like
I wanted to be like, yo, kid, we're about to leave. Relax. You've been at this thing all day. We'll give it up in a minute. Jesus.
So I played Nate once, and then Ian played Nate once, and then we left. And and the kid sits down. He's like, "You guys want to play?" It's like, "Fucking no!" Not against your 4.5 hours sitting here, ass. Not a chance.
Hell no. He'd been practicing all day.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was for real. That kid had a plan.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know that he knew it was there.
I don't think he knew it was there, but when he saw it.
That's what I'm doing.
Mom didn't want to buy him Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't have a PlayStation or something, and he was like, "Oh, now's my chance." So he paid $15 to sit down and play Mortal Kombat all day.
It's pretty good.
Just not a bad deal.
I mean, because like I can't remember where I said this. It was on a Discord server. I can't remember if it was our Discord server or not. But Mortal Kombat 1 is like one of those games where if renting were still a thing, man, I would rent the shit. I would rent Mortal Kombat 1 for a weekend and be like, awesome. Okay, done.
Yeah, I would.
You know what I mean? It's like that was worth my $6.
It's a lot to pay for a game that I'm not going to play that much more. But first of all, I didn't pay good money for it. I paid fake money for it. And second of all, I like having games like that in my bucket to be able to just pick up if I have it in the mood to do it. I'll be able to jump in and play.
Totally get it. But
but for that, it's that kid was having none of it. He's you're playing me or you're playing nobody.
Yeah. No, he was itching.
Yeah, he was. Then we went to Prince's.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
Oh my God.
Took my boy Dave over to Prince's on the way out of town.
The whole week leading up, I was like, I'm gonna get some Prince's. I'm gonna get some Prince's. I'm gonna get some Prince's. And then like got there, ate it. It was fantastic. It was way better than it was last time. It was great last time, but this was a special time. And then I almost texted you on Monday saying, dude, I'm still thinking about that Princess because I was. I thought about it Sunday at least 5 times.
You murdered that fucking chicken.
Oh my God.
Murdered. I was not eating it because I don't do super hot. And so I just got a little basket of fries to snack on and Dave just murdered those fucking hot chicken.
I was worried because I was worried it was going to be too much.
They let you kill your own chicken out. It's pretty impressive.
It is. You can even like reenact Weekend at Bernie's too if you want to. The guy in the kitchen comes out, like, dead walk and shit. That's not true, but it would be cool if they did that on Halloween.
Cool.
But that was our Nashville. So thanks to Paul for inviting us down.
Yeah, it was fun.
We ate at Genghis Grill when we got to Nashville, which was an interesting experience. Yeah, that was new for me. So, yeah, a lot of fun.
I got some Famicom games.
Yes, you
I
did.
saw them on the shelf, and I was like, "Ooh, man!" Like, because I was attracted by I was like, "Wait, what Super Nintendo games do they have?" And I was like, "Oh, they have Famicom games. I don't collect those yet." So I started looking through those, and I was like, I probably won't get any. And like the first one is the first Kunio-kun game, and it's like, well, I'm buying that for sure. It's Renegade, the Japanese version of Renegade, hot-blooded Kunio-kun. So it's like, okay. And then I was like, fuck, that was the very first one. It's like, let me look through. And yeah, they had I got a horse racing game. I got a Urusei Yatsura game, which is, I'm sure not good, but I like the anime. And original Mario Brothers.
Nice.
Which is exactly the same as North American Mario Brothers. Because it's like, everything's in English, so it's just like, it's just the same. So, but when I got home and I was showing, and I got a boxed King's Knight, the Square game. Because they had some boxed too, and I was like, so I'm like adding all this shit up, and I'm like, oh, fuck, this is gonna be like $100 goddamn dollars. It's like, oh well. I took the time. I stood here for 40 minutes going through all, picked the ones out. I'm like, oh well,
Treat yourself.
It's $100. So, and some of them didn't have stickers on it, so I was like, fuck, it might be more than 100. I don't know how much. I get to the counter.
What does market price mean?
Right? Yeah. What does look up on
price charting?
Yeah. The good thing about Famicom games is they're typically like way less expensive than NES games or Super Nintendo games. So I was like, well, these are fun. And I got an adapter because I never took apart like a 5-screw NES cartridge, so I could, convert the pins from Famicom to NES. So I got an adapter as well because it's like, fuck it. I'm buying these games. Mm-hmm. Might as well actually be able to play them. And I get to the counter and I set it all down. And his guy's like, oh, man, you're getting some Famicom games. Like, yep. He's like, what you got? And he's going through looking. And he's like, yeah, okay, cool. He looks at me and he says, what's the deal we're running on Famicom games? And I was like, I don't know. He said, let me go look. And he goes and looks
Pretty
over.
sure it's buy one, get one free.
It's 3 for 1, right?
He goes over to where I was standing. I never saw anything over there. So I don't know what the hell he was looking at. But he came back and he's like, yep, there are 3 for 10. And it's like, really? Yep. It's like, okay. So it was $50 after tax and everything for all those games.
Shit.
And because I paid for them as we were leaving, and in the car, I know Ian could tell because he told me, he's like, I could tell you want to go back and buy more.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, super do, because there were more.
It's like I had $50 free now.
I was prepared to spend $100.
Exactly, and it's like there were definitely some where I was like, I don't know, I kind of want this one, but this is in my secondary pile, so. It gives me something to look forward to next time I go back.
Yeah.
See if they still have some. They had a boxed Ultima, which I only got one boxed game. But again, had I known it was 3 for $10.
Good Lord, yeah.
I probably would have picked that one up too. I got the loose copy though. So
He goes, Dave said, well, there's a couple of Funko Pops sitting on the table. And
right.
And there was one big one. I don't buy the big ones. I think it might have been a Dragon Ball one. I don't know what it was. But the other one was a Jason Voorhees.
They had Ian's brand heroin just in there on the table.
Yeah. There was a Jason Voorhees pop there, and it's an older one. I mean, I think you looked it up, and it's worth like
it's like 26 bucks or something
30
like
bucks, something like that. I don't know. But he was like, I looked at it, and there was no price tag on it. I was like, nah. Well, then he tells me, he's like, I just got all these Famicom games. We're about to leave, and it was like, I just got all these Famicom games, and it was like $48. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you should probably go check and see what they're asking for that pop. And so I was like, all right. So I went back in, and I asked the guy, I'm like, how much you got on that Jason Voorhees pop? Because I wanted to get that one for Tanya because she's decorating for Halloween, and I thought it might be a neat one. She stuck it in a candy bowl, which I thought was awesome. But I go in, and I'm like, how much you got on that Jason Voorhees pop? And he just does not give a fuck. He picks it up, and he looks at it, sees that there's no sticker on it, he goes, $14.99. Sold. So I bought it.
They called me in on a Saturday. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was cool.
Those guys were cool.
Yeah, they were
really cool.
It was a good visit. I like that place a lot.
Yeah,
it shocked me how much they had there, the games. It was like being at the expo. Only all the machines worked.
And
there were no lines.
Yeah. Except for Mortal Kombat 1.
Except for Mortal Kombat 1.
Just one guy.
And I told Dave, I was like, one of the cool things was they had so many brand new machines, and they had a few that were like brand new that you had to pay money to play, and I wasn't trying to do that. But there was so many good machines in there, and it wasn't crowded. I mean, it was busy, but it wasn't crowded. So
they have so many machines there. I mean,
it was well.
You have to have an expo in order for it to be really crowded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I saw one that I wanted to play and someone was on it, there were 3 others nearby that I was perfectly content with playing, and then I would play that, and then they would be done, and I would go play the one I wanted to play originally. Mm-hmm. It was really cool. It was a good place. And then, of course, I came home, and Cohen, my grandson, had been there all day, and he was spending the night Saturday night.
He had been at home all day.
He had been at my house with Tanya all day, and he was going to spend the night. And he was sitting in there, and I came in, and I had told him where I had been. And he's like, You got to take me there. He really wants to go to Game Galaxy now. So I'll probably drive him down there at some point. And
well, if you want some company, let me know because I want to buy some
Famicom games. Yeah. But
man.
It was fun. It was a good day. I haven't had a day where the only bugaboo for the day, I've been using bugaboo a lot this episode, was so I am a backup on call. My team at work, we're sort of the advanced team. We're sort of we're known as Tier 3. That's me, John Turley, and one other guy, and our supervisor are Tier 3. So things get escalated to us. So when we get in on call, we have a person that's on call from the regular service team or help desk, and they're on call on the nights and weekends. And so if a client puts in a ticket, they hit our help desk, remote help desk. If they can't help, then the on-call person gets called. And if that person doesn't answer for some reason, it goes to the next one in line, which in this case for the month of September is me. And not a call one have I gotten this week, not one, until we started driving to Nashville. And the guy that was on call wasn't answering his phone. Well, the whole rest of the crew at my workplace was on a whole different trip in Southern Illinois doing a brewery tour. So literally the entire company minus me and the guy
LinkedIn
that's on
post,
call.
by the way.
Huh?
I like that LinkedIn post, by the way.
Yeah.
I saw it this week, and I was like, I know all about that tour. Like,
I ended up getting called, and I'm driving down the interstate, and I'm talking to the guy, and I'm like, I'm in my car. I'm on the interstate. I can't help you. I can't do anything right now. You're going to have to move it forward. Well, they finally got it all worked out, but throughout the course of the day, I probably got called 7 or 8 more times because this on-call dude wasn't picking up his phone. So words were said Monday when I went back to work. And then, but other than that, it was a great day. Was able to just chill, not think about things. I got in trouble with my wife for not telling her that we had arrived in Nashville. She called and she was like, why haven't you let me know that you arrived safely? She's big about that. She just wants to know I'm okay. And
you're not the on-call husband. That's somebody else.
Right.
They need to answer.
Did the help desk not answer? So yeah, we had it, but it was fun. And I had a really good time hanging out with you, Dave.
Yeah, it was awesome.
One of those rare days where we got to just spend the day doing whatever the fuck we wanted.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. So, yeah, still high from that. Maybe that's why everything seems a little off, because I had such a good day on Saturday, which
wait
is
for everything
so
bad
unusual. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Yes.
I got home with that Mario Bros. I was showing Henry the Famicom cartridges, and he was like, I know that one. I pointed to the Mario Brothers because it's in English, you know. He's like, you want to play it? I was like, this is like not Super Mario Brothers. This is like Mario Brothers. He's like, yeah, I know. It's the one you made that video about.
Yep.
And I was like, yep, it is. And he's like, it's the one with the glitch. I want to see if I can do the glitch. And it's like, oh, okay. So we put it in. Didn't work at first. It's like, fuck. Cleaned it. It worked. And then turn it on.
But I said that's why they're 3 for 10.
Right, yeah. They didn't say anything about it.
The non-functional label.
Yeah, we got a
was
sale on
hidden
our
behind
broken
the shelf.
Famicom game. Did they tell you that?
They're good for like decorating stuff if you want to cosplay, I guess.
They do look pretty neat.
They are cool, the pastel colors. And
all the colored
that
plastic.
stuff.
And he got that fucking glitch second try.
Wow.
second try where you can like glitch to the
A
platform.
little prodigy going on over here.
So we played that for a very long time that night. And then the next day he asked if we could play it again. So yeah, sure. Totally. There are better Mario games out there, but I'm not going to say that. We're enjoying this. And I love the original Mario Brothers.
Me too.
I think it's a great game that I just don't think ages nearly as well as Super Mario Brothers and Mario Brothers 2 and Super Mario Brothers 2.
It's an arcade game.
It's right. It is straight up an arcade game. And
Yeah.
it's because Henry kept saying the jump feels weird. And I'm like, yep. That's how it is in Mario Brothers. You gotta run first and then jump. You can't. It's not like in the other Super Mario Brothers games. It's very different. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay.
Cool.
Been playing Sea of Stars. I am not sure how close I am to the game, to the end of the game, but it has to be very. A place named something that seems very final is visible to me. I'm trying to speak in extremely unspoilerly language.
Sure.
But there is a place I can go to that might as well say end of the game. I just haven't gone there.
You're in
yet.
your Chrono Trigger faded hour right now.
I
where you
am.
can just go
It does
around
feel.
doing all
It
the
does
shit.
feel
Yeah.
like that because it's
like the land of finalia. Endgamia.
It's to a point now where it does feel like this is the point in the game where I'm supposed to like wrap up any things that I want to wrap up. And I don't know how much that I'm going to do. There are certain things I feel like that are going to be easier to do than others. Like, again, not to spoil anything, there's something that you can collect a lot of. I don't know that I'm going to collect all of those because I don't know where all of those are. And I don't know that I want to go through every area of the game again looking for them.
I know what you're talking about, and I've already decided there's a good chance I'm not going to do that.
I might pass on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be, I might go to the vendor that tells you how many of the things you have, and if they're like, you're missing 2, it's like,
Fuck.
okay, I'm going to look those up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to look those up and I'm going to go get those. But if it's like, you're missing 15, it's like, so long.
Yeah. They stay in that way.
Yes, they are. Unless I do I don't know if the game has New Game Plus or not. If it does, maybe I'll go through again and try to get them all, or maybe years later replay it and try to get them all. You like using a guide or something?
Great game.
Man,
I
loving
can't
it.
wait for our part 2, possibly next week.
I'm loving it.
But yeah, good shit. Tyler, what have you been up to?
Well, Melissa and I, we were eating dinner at the bar in our kitchen, and all of a sudden the
You
lights.
guys had your liquor license renewed?
Yeah. Yeah, we have.
It's that time
the
of year.
population here.
Car tax, liquor license.
Marshall County is wet now. We could.
So wet.
So wet.
Love how wet it is.
God damn.
So we're eating, and all of a sudden it lights flicker. We hear something go brrr,
Ghost.
and yeah, a very bad ghost. And then we smell burnt metal.
Oh no.
So
Stroke.
it's like we don't know what's going on.
Did your refrigerator die on you?
My oven died.
God, I
No.
feel you.
Yep, and then everything with it went off, and yeah, I pulled it out, and the smell of burnt metal got way worse. So unplugged that bad
Were you
boy,
cooking
threw
at
it
the
outside.
time?
No,
Good.
So that can just happen.
Yep.
Just
You're not cooking
apropos
anything.
of
Apropos of nothing,
Yeah.
sitting there and just dead.
It was the ghost.
The oven
in your
ghost
oven.
left. Yeah,
They finally got out. Is what happens when they get out. Is when your oven
that fire
flies.
elemental finally escaped. That it was I'd sealed in my oven.
Did you go to the
Eberron
shed and you're
style.
like, you owe me?
Give it-
Remember me?
Man, fuck that lady. And I did get a new steamer today, ironically.
Yeah.
You say that.
Great time.
After we bought that one and it didn't work, I made a capital project and spent $30,000 and got my new steamer in today. But yes, I'm listening. That's what we did this weekend. We went to Lowe's and we bought a new oven.
That's nice. You got a new oven.
Yep.
Not nice that it's a surprise expense, but hey. New.
Now, are you a flat top stove kind of guy, or do you like burners? You like gas?
What I want is not what I will ever have, which is a badass gas range
A six burner
with like a wok attachment
Yeah.
and a griddle in the middle. That's what I want.
I like griddle in the middle.
A griddle in the middle.
so wet.
Yeah.
But running gas lines, I did that in my last house. It sucks ass.
Yeah.
It is more dangerous anyway. So
Just ask Florida.
Yeah. And Jack is just so into everything. We decided we'll just go induction again. So that's all we did.
Cool.
My dad has like a contractor card, so he's like, "Here, take this. Go, you'll get a 10% off."
Right,
I was
right.
like, "Oh, okay, cool."
That's awesome.
Didn't know that contract card was also a credit card, so accidentally put it on my parents' card.
Oops.
So
Accident.
that's a much better pay over time than I did put it on my card.
Yes, it is.
Are you sure couldn't get the one with the griddle in the middle?
I didn't know. Otherwise, it might have been a little bit different. I thought it was just a discount card.
Oh man. We had our washers done, man. It's like
God, I hate appliances.
I'm gonna have to go buy a new dryer.
it's done.
Our dryer's about
Like
done
Nikki,
too.
that thing's 20 years old. Nikki has fixed it 3 times.
But say Nikki had to go to bed.
Yeah.
She's the
Waka
washer.
waka.
Yeah.
One of these days, right to the moon.
Oh, it's a euphemism for beating his wife. I see.
You don't know what was it, Alice? Alice might have liked it.
That's true. Yeah, we don't know their kink.
Look, 2 consenting adults.
Yeah.
Don't yuck their yum. Yeah.
She wants to get knocked to the moon while she climaxes. That's their business.
That's what gets her there. Yeah.
I can't wait for him to get home.
Ralph. I need you to pop me to the moon.
It'd be so hard to get the honey shivers.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
But Nikki fixed this fucking washing machine like 3 times, and she was like, well, I guess we're going to do it again. And she ordered parts, and it's like, that didn't work. And she was kind of like, I'm ready to get a new washing machine. I'm like, yeah, that thing's like, we've had that thing a very, very long time.
Yeah.
We've had that longer than our marriage.
3 repairs equals new washer time.
Yeah. So we got, it's not in yet, but we got one coming. Like Alice.
Yeah.
Griddle in the middle.
But unfortunately, not super
Asshole
fancy.
full of bus
Does it
tickets.
have a griddle? No.
No, not a super fancy one. Just a new one. That's good enough.
No wok attachment, nothing special.
That'd be fucking rad. Stir frying while washing jeans.
That's how the Japanese do it.
It's true. I saw it. Seen
I
it
seen it.
on my Famicom cartridges.
Well, we had talked last week about doing a cartoon theme song draft.
Cartoon theme song.
So first thing I want to ask, cartoon. Does that apply? Do anime count, or is anime another separate category?
I think
that changes half my answers.
I think it could be an entirely different category.
I couldn't tell you the theme songs for most of my favorite anime, like, because I haven't watched them over and over and over again the way I did other cartoons.
Yeah.
So personally, I'm fine with including anime in this draft, unless you guys think we should do a separate. I'm not going to be very, very good with an anime theme song draft because I just don't have the history with them. You know, I'm a year in. I've watched a shit ton of it, but I haven't committed things to memory. Like, I could name 2 that I know, and that's about it. So.
It'll drastically change. I don't have a draft prepared. I have like some things written down.
Yeah, same.
It doesn't include anime. That doesn't necessarily mean that it couldn't.
I say we include it.
All right, let's include it. It's
All
going to
right.
be tough with 10, but let's do it.
Yep. I agree. All right. So I always say, so instead I'm going to ask, Dave, what numbers do you want to be on the die?
Well, I'm usually
Ian, do you have a preference?
I'm 4, 5, 6?
Yep.
5, 6. So it was a 6-sided?
5, 6, yes.
You got a cue?
5, 6, Dave. You have a preference, Ian?
1 and 3.
1 and 3.
Oh,
All right.
shit. We could do a range
So I'll be 2 and 4.
I was doing dashes. We didn't know we do commas.
Too late. I'm 1 and 3. Please me. Damn.
4, me. So then me, Dave, Ian. Let me write down my name here. Easy number 1. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nice.
Yeah.
I even know that one.
When the
And
evil
I don't watch
shredder
the
cuts
Turtles.
tax.
What?
When the evil shredder cuts tax.
Yeah. Yeah. I must really hate these income taxes.
I mean, can you blame him?
All right, Dave.
Cost of Technodromes go to the fucking roof. So what really sucks about adding anime to it is that I don't want to draft any of it because I feel like it's going to be underperforming. I feel like the performers are in the American market. So I don't know.
Let's cut anime then.
No. I'm down to include them. It's just it's one of those things where it's like, I'm sorry, anime songs. I'm going with The Simpsons. Man.
Damn you!
The Simpsons. I'm sorry,
You
Danny
knew
Elfman.
it. You knew I was going to pick that first because I tried to pick it last week, forgetting that The Simpsons is an actual cartoon.
I don't know. I don't tell you,
Fuck
man.
no.
Should chose 5 or 6.
It's the roll of the dice. I should have chose 4 and 2.
But I
guess.
got to go heavy hitters, and like The Simpsons
Yeah.
is like.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, that's up there.
It's absolutely up there. It's an excellent pick.
I remember giving.
I would have been more surprised if you hadn't gone ahead and grabbed it.
I remember taking piano lessons in 3rd grade and picking up a Simpsons theme song sheet music and handing it to her and being like, "Can you play this?" And just bam. I mean, just like da 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 da. And it was like she nailed it. It's like, holy crap.
So it would be weird too to hear it like being played by a person,
right.
especially when you're fucking 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We'll have to drop down a notch on my list for my first pick, King of the Hill.
Yes, by the Refreshments.
Love that song.
Yeah, that's on my.
It's just a great song.
It's on my list as well. Yeah,
it's a great song,
awesome.
and it's the opening sequence is one of those that it lives in my memory. You know what I mean? Like I can hear the song and see the way that everything's moving in fast motion, and God, it's such a so many things about King of the Hill are so awesome, and that is but one. So yeah,
it's a great theme song.
My number 2. Because I want to be the very best.
Yeah, man.
No one
that's a heavy
ever
hitter.
Was.
That's a
I mean,
heavy
it's
hitter.
even political. Mewtwo has made his appearance on the political stage. What was his name? The Godfather's Pizza guy quoted Mewtwo in one of his speeches.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Pokemon?
Yes, Pokemon. That's a great choice. I wasn't thinking about that when I was like, American market.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, number 2.
South Park. Going South Park.
It's on my list.
Primus.
Going on down.
Gotta love it. So I feel like that's a heavy hitter. Even if it's not like I think it's good. Not like a personal favorite of mine or anything, but anytime like a musical act that does music stuff outside of a theme song does something like the Refreshments or Danny Elfman or Primus, I feel like that's worth noting. That's worth drafting.
The Rembrandts, yeah.
Yep, the Rembrandts.
That applies to just about anything. When you like, for example, the Conan O'Brien podcast is Jack White,
right?
That does that song, and so it's neat when they get recognizable bands or musicians or whatever to do stuff like that. Yeah. And those tend to be the most memorable ones.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. My second pick is Looney Tunes, the Overture. Overture, hit the lights. This is it. Night of night. Yeah.
I don't know the lyrics, but
I know some of the lyrics and I get lost in them. But yeah, that was on with the show. This is it. That was on Saturday morning. They had the like 3-hour block of Looney Tunes on ABC every Saturday morning. And
these are cheap.
Yeah, they would knock that opening out, and I would be right there, ready to watch every week. Loved it.
When they got on, when Nickelodeon started running the Looney Tunes is really when I started getting on them.
Yeah,
and again, I think it was because they were just cheap that networks could buy and just run, and they're good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for real.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. For number 3, I'm going to put on my air electric guitar.
X-Men.
Yeah. X-Men.
I think that was I think they got sued. Didn't they? I think they got sued.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because that riff is like, man, I'll send you a link. I'll see if I can find it. Put it in the show
Is it
notes.
one of those where you hear it and you think the guy that wrote this had a song stuck in his head and didn't realize that he had a song stuck in his head?
It's when you hear the original, because I was
Yeah.
like, I remember when I first heard that story and I was like, yeah, how close could it be? And I listened and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I think they stole that.
Yo, that wasn't an accident.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg.
Do all 10 minutes.
Race cars, lasers, airplanes. It's a duck.
We don't have the
plane.
rights. I can't do full 10-minute extended version.
Might
But
solve
DuckTales.
a mystery. I know
Da-da-da.
all those words too.
Oh,
DuckTales
rewrite
was-
history.
That was in my
DuckTales.
next 3 picks.
Yes, DuckTales. That fucking
Fantastic
theme song.
one. Yep.
you could fuck to.
Boom,
It's
boom,
great.
Boom, 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 boom. The little bass riff at the beginning.
There's like a Hall & Oates song that starts that way, right?
Yes.
And it's like every time I hear it on the radio, I'm like, are they playing that? Oh, no. Oh, I like this song, too. It's cool.
Oh, my God. I never realized it, but you're right.
I can't remember the name of the song.
God, I should know this.
Hey, Siri, what Hall & Oates song sounds like DuckTales in the beginning?
Tuckdales.
There's a Hall & Oates DuckTales mashup on YouTube that I'm definitely going to have to check out later.
That's because those songs sound
You make my dreams come true. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah. Inspired by, I would think.
I'm a huge Hall & Oates fan. I couldn't get it though.
Hall & Oates rules.
I've got some bunch of songs running again this week. I got all these theme songs running through my head.
Running through my head.
Number 3.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. Where are you? That's a groove right there.
It is a groove.
And anytime they remake the song, it doesn't seem right. Because like that original recording of that song is like so fucking like fuzzy and lo-fi. Do you know what I mean?
It's like they recorded it and never made a master backup.
Right. But that's the way it
having
needs
to
to be.
reuse it.
Right.
Yeah. It sounds like it's being played on vinyl.
Right. Yeah. Or like through somebody's teeth.
Yes. Real tinny.
Right.
See, my number 4, I think it starts with a shadowy figure in a doorway, opening its eyes. You
Darkwing
get that. Close. The human version.
Oh, Batman.
Batman,
Yeah.
the animated series.
Yes. Danny Elfman again.
Danny Elfman, who wrote all the music for the original the first 2 Batman Michael Keaton movies.
The theme song to the animated series is actually a track from that he wrote for the first movie.
Is that right?
And wasn't in the movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was one of those where it's like, we got this.
Let's use it.
Let's use it.
Nice.
Dun, 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 dun. I think that's more iconic, honestly.
Yeah,
than like
that's
any of the music
such-
in the movie.
That's the one thing about those Batman movies, one of the many things that stands out as on those movies versus all the others. There's like, I don't really think about the music from any of the other Batman movies.
Yeah, no, same.
But those, especially the first Batman with Michael Keaton, the music in that movie made it like that much better.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Dave, number 4.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, man. I have seen maybe one episode of SpongeBob, but the fact that this song gets covered by so many like live musicians and like this song to me that's like a solid draft. It's like I can get that generation.
I watched the SpongeBob movie for the first time ever over this past weekend, as a matter of fact.
Was it good?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If you're into that. SpongeBob is not my thing, but I appreciate it.
I love the memes.
And the
Big
memes are
fan
great.
of the SpongeBob memes.
And it's not that I don't think SpongeBob is a funny or good show. It just gets on my nerves real quick, so I don't stick with it. But
Ian, number 4.
my number 4, I'm going to stay with our classics. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. I don't want to say that any of these songs are particularly good, but
Sure.
but they're memorable.
But they're a modern Stone Age family.
They're a modern Stone Age family. And that, of course, it's a product of its time as well. Obviously, that was just the way they did theme songs back then. But yeah, that's one of those that gets in your head and you can't lose it.
Okay, my number 5. Sometimes some crimes go slipping through the cracks, but these 2 gumshoes are picking up the slack.
There's no case too big, no case too small. When you need help, just call Bandales.
Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Good choice.
Dave, number 5.
Meet George Jetson, Jane, his wife.
I have to think.
It's on my list.
That's another one where it's like not some like we were talking about King of the Hill, where it's like, and I'm not even trying to compare those two theme songs. Like the King of the Hill theme song is like way better, but the combination of the actual animated intro to that song with the theme song, I always liked because it was like, I don't know, man. I just always liked, for whatever reason, I always liked the Jetsons, and I like the Jetsons more than the Flintstones. And I think it's because I was into their daughter when I was a kid. So
Judy's hot.
Yeah. So Pebbles was just a baby.
Pebble was a baby until she wasn't.
Until she wasn't.
And then she was hot.
Yeah.
I saw a very interesting TikTok about the Jetsons.
Yeah.
So they were talking about how the Jetsons is clearly it's all up in the sky.
Right.
There must have been something on the ground that they either
The poor people
got away from. Yeah. Also, they noticed combing through all the Jetsons, you cannot find one black person in the entirety of the Jetsons. In any stadium, in any scene where there are tons of people, not one single black person.
But name a Hanna-Barbera cartoon that doesn't include the Harlem Globetrotters, in which you do.
I mean, you're right. But they just talked about how that's what they were implying with the Jetsons and the problem with the Jetsons. I thought it was interesting.
I think it's definitely a problem.
A mini documentary about it. I watched
But
on
I think
TikTok.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, I watch so many of these goddamn fucking Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Oh, God.
And
I
it's
know,
like,
right?
I legitimately cannot name a black character like in the Flintstones, in the Jetsons, other ones with humans in it and not
Neither.
dogs.
Me neither.
Ian, number 5.
Thundercats. Man, you know somebody comes like that. They're like, come on, baby, let me do it.
You want me to sound like Chitara? No, I want you to go snoring.
Sound like that food mascot instead.
I needed to play a little bit of that one because it's just such a dramatic opening to the main part of the theme, you know. And you'll probably be able to correlate a lot of stuff I've said in the past about my favorite cartoons and my favorite shows
Sure.
with the theme songs.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because that was my hook. That was the thing that got me in. If it had a good opening sequence and the fucking opening sequence to Thundercats is exciting as fuck. I mean, they just get right into the action, you know. And once I was hooked on that theme song, I was hooked on the show. And Thundercats was honestly, had I thought of it sooner, I would have put it at the top of my list, just because that was a really good time of day for me when the Thundercats would start. I loved it. Good shit.
I was a little too young for it,
Me too.
but
Yeah,
I knew some friends with slightly older brothers, fucking were super into it and He-Man and.
Yeah, dude, all those shows were so good, and I'm actually like thinking about possibly trying to watch Thundercats just to see if it's still. I know it won't ruin it.
Good,
for me.
okay.
It
As
won't
long as
ruin
you go
it.
in, like,
If I
knowing
go
that.
in with that
Right,
expectation of God, I would be in a. I won't be in a what was I thinking mode.
Yeah.
I was thinking I was fucking 10.
Yeah.
I
And it
did
was
have
awesome.
a Mumra fight in Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Did we
yeah.
bypass it?
Yeah.
Mumra was
Yeah.
a dick. Mumra was, Thundercats was He-Man, just as cats. You
Right.
know, they had Skeletor, Mumroth, He-Man, Thunder, Lion-O, you know, the whole 9 yards. But it worked. That formula worked. So,
and those intros, man, I feel like were super important because it's like I feel like the
yeah.
Ninja Turtles intro, like Toei did that, and it's like the rest of the animation not good, but like that opening is fucking fantastic, dude.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where I totally lost what I was gonna say. Holy shit, that just fucking evaporated. And I was like, I can recover. No,
Nope.
no, I have
File
no idea.
not found.
Right? Yeah. Sorry.
that crash. It happens.
Well, my number 6. Dum 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 dum. Inspector Gadget.
Dun, 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 dun.
Of all the items I could pluck out of the ether and make real for me to own, it would be one of them would be Penny's book, her computer hacking computer book.
Best I can do is Matthew Broderick's hat.
Fucking loved Inspector Gadget.
Very funny and only murders.
God,
Matthew Broderick,
dude, his part in Only Murders in the Building this season was chef's kiss. It was perfect.
He did play Inspector Gadget.
Yes,
right?
he
Okay,
did.
good.
He did.
Because my brain broke earlier.
In the movie, not the cartoon.
Especially Mel Brooks.
Right?
Mel Brooks talking shit about him was so
God, I
fucking
know,
funny.
I know. God, I had forgotten about that until you brought it up, and that was just like last week's episode. But
Yep.
Jesus Christ, it was so good. He just got so. It was so funny and like self-deprecating and just. It was one of my favorite moments.
My character's
in
from New
Only
York.
Murders.
This changes everything. Dave, number 6.
It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. But where
Yeah,
are
those
those
good
good old-fashioned values
on which we used to rely? I had that on my list too.
On my list, yep.
Can't fucking beat Family Guy.
Yeah, it's I feel like it's a great theme song. It's a nice callback.
Oh, yes.
Really, it's a
With
very
them around
All in the
piano, All in
Family.
the Family.
It's
yeah.
They're literally channeling All in the Family.
And then
in
it
that
busts
beginning.
into like
The
the
big show.
musical, yeah, and you can tell that like that's a thing.
It's
that
the most Seth MacFarlane
Seth
thing
MacFarlane's
ever.
Super into that.
Yeah, that's
right,
his whole
so, yeah.
shtick, and that it works. I
don't-
mean, it's
yeah.
it's a calling card. You know, there's gonna be a musical number in somewhere in everything he does. I mean,
Stewie
there was
and
a
Brian's
musical
musical
number.
episodes are always fucking great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they really
agreed.
are. There was a musical number in A Million Ways to Die in the West, if I remember correctly.
I haven't seen. I haven't seen any. I haven't seen
underrated
Ted
movie.
either.
Sarah Silverman
Is
and Giovanni Ribisi.
fire. They are
God, they
fucking
are so fucking funny.
fire in that movie. They
Come
are
on my face with your cowboy cum.
They are so goddamn fun.
Okay.
I'm gonna rewatch that. Sure, Sarah Silverman.
Bub was to come by later. What does he want? Anal. We can buy a new belt for Sunday. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna rewatch that again soon, actually, because the more I think about it, the more I appreciate it. It's one of those that the first watch through, you're like, "What the fuck?" The second time you see it, you see all the little jokes and all the little, and it's fucking great. Also, as Seth MacFarlane as it gets.
Ian, number 6.
My number 6, I'm gonna go with Good Morning USA. I've got a feeling that it's gonna be a wonderful day. Sun in the sky has a smile on his face.
He's
Something, the American way.
Yep. I do. I like American.
Is that American Dad?
Yeah.
American Dad. Once again, super Seth MacFarlane,
Sure,
big,
yeah.
big flashy opening.
Right, my number 7. Now I'll go with the duck version of Batman and claim Darkwing Duck.
Let's get,
Get
dangerous. Darkwing Duck.
So good. Dave, number 7.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. I'll bust into anime now.
That was I was struggling. Do I pick Darkwing Duck or do I pick pick Cowboy Bebop. So yeah,
I was expecting you to do Cowboy Bebop because I already had my line set up where it's like I did take Friends last episode.
Speaking of things mentioned in videos we did.
Right. Yeah.
I have a whole segment in my little YouTube short of Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
And the segment opens with
Because it has to. Tank by the seatbelts.
that
That
whole.
is such
I
a
mean, that's
good
why I bought
song.
it on vinyl. That whole fucking
Yeah,
soundtrack
that
is
just-
amazing.
Yeah. It really
that
is.
jazz, big band jazz stuff. It's good shit.
Yep.
God,
I did
loved
not
Cowboy
pick-
Bebop.
Yeah.
I was so glad that was like one of my first anime, like in this newish thing of mine.
Yeah.
It was to get Cowboy Bebop under my belt.
Classic.
I immediately bought this shirt after I watched Cowboy Bebop the first
Ian
time.
is wearing a Teletubby shirt, so it doesn't make sense, but
It makes sense to me, Dave.
I think the acid just kicked in.
Why are there 3 of you?
Ian, number 7.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I'm going to stick with that again. Another super exciting opening, by the power of Grayskull. It's just one of those things. It's burned in there as a core memory. I could see myself sitting on the couch, eating Doritos, cheddar cheese, and drinking cranberry juice while I watch Thundercats and
Man,
He-Man.
what a combo.
Love it. It was my favorite thing. They don't go together at all.
No, it
None of
doesn't.
those
I don't
things.
know. I'm not an expert, but-
None of those things match as a flavor profile. It's terrible.
kind of
but I
Doritos?
love them. Nacho
cheese?
yeah,
And cheddar cheese.
and cheddar cheese. They don't go together.
Right.
But I love it. That's still one of my comfort snack go tos.
God, homie, I love a fucking.
If I'm having a day, I will have I will slice off some extra sharp cheddar, a little bowl of Doritos, and if I've got it, a
Yeah,
nice
dude.
tall icy cold glass of cranberry juice.
That's where I nope out, man. I can't do that one.
I love it.
I can't do that one.
It's my favorite.
But like, I can go Liz Lemon on a motherfucking block of cheddar cheese. Like,
Same,
working
girl,
on my night
same.
cheese. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. I could, and then like, for the longest time, I had no idea like what the nutrition looked like on that. And then years later, it's like I used to eat blocks of those.
the night cheese got me. Oh,
Good
that
old
tickled
30
me.
Rock.
That tickled me.
I had completely.
Oh, God, I can't
forgotten.
stop laughing. Okay. Tyler?
My number 8 was the jam that we pumped in high school. When just Dragon, Rock the Dragon, Dragon Ball Z.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Dave, number 8.
Gummy bears.
Bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure. I've
Something
got
I don't
that's
care.
beyond compare. I've got the gummy bears on my list too. That's good.
That's a great fucking theme song.
Such a good.
I
theme
liked that
song.
cartoon as a kid.
I did too.
But I, honest to God, think the theme song is better than the cartoon. I even thought so as a kid.
Yeah.
Where it's like I just wanted to watch the theme, and then I watched the rest.
I'll play
'cause
with
it was
Legos.
on.
I'll play with
Right,
Legos while I watch
Right.
watch at it.
Yeah.
But I'm there for the theme.
God damn it! Theme song.
Absolutely.
God damn.
God damn it, Gummy Bears theme song's good shit. That boy good. That boy good.
Y'all motherfuckers can't tell me you didn't like it. Just, I want a 10-minute rip of Cat Williams just tearing into the Gummy Bears theme song.
He's listening. He'll probably do it
Probably.
now.
Oh, that's Fox Williams, the designer of Krusty's Super Funhouse.
Oh, gotcha.
We'll get to that in a
In
minute.
just a minute.
Number 8.
My
Ian.
number 8 would have to be G.I. Joe, a real
G.I.
American
Joe.
hero. G.I. Joe is there.
Pork chop sandwiches.
And now you know.
Knowing is half the battle.
Yo, Joe.
Ooh, number 9. Da-dum, 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 da-dum.
Pink Panther.
Yeah,
Yeah,
didn't love the Pink Panther, but man, is that not a good theme song?
Yeah, I didn't love the Pink Panther either. But the best parts of the movies, sad to say. I don't know. As a kid, at least, I haven't tried to rewatch them.
The Peter Sellers movies, those, I had a real fondness for the old Pink Panther movies. It was subtle slapstick comedy, and those were really underrated, but they were not good for children and not that they were bad. They were
I didn't get it.
You wouldn't get it.
Yeah, I didn't. I remember watching the cartoon opening and being like, fuck yeah.
What the fuck?
What?
My mother loved those movies. She was a huge Peter Sellers, Pink Panther fan, and of course the like James Bond movies, things like that. All those things were like in my mom's wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. And so I got early exposure to that stuff, and I started picking up on the subtleties. And I actually watched a Pink Panther movie a few months ago. It happened to be on HBO or something, and I just watched it, and I laughed so hard. Hamburger. I laughed so hard at that fucking, and the whole shtick where he would come into his apartment and his assistant would attack him and he would fight with him. You know, it was just a routine that they had. It was completely normal, and they just destroy the apartment and then go on about their business. You know, it was just, those are great movies. So, and the, was it Steve Martin?
Yep.
That did the more recent version of it. Thought he did a great job in those too. Of course, it's hard to find something that Steve Martin's not good in. So, yeah, good pick.
Dave, number 9.
Hong Kong Phooey, number 1 super guy. Hong Kong Phooey. Yeah.
Damn.
Faster than the human eye.
That is funny.
Sublime did a cover of that song.
Did they really?
It sure did. Yeah.
Just goes to show how influencing these things are.
And I think Hong Kong Phooey, I mean, I loved watching that cartoon as a kid. And like, feel like when I did some weirdly, because I don't know, it's not like I do a Hong Kong Phooey podcast, but I was like, how many seasons of Hong Kong Phooey were there? You know, you kind of get in that mode, or at least I do.
It would have had to have been like one.
Oh, there's like 12 episodes?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like nothing.
Scooby-Doo's like that.
Nothing.
The original Scooby-Doo was only like 8 or 10 episodes.
Well, I mentioned that last week. Salute Your Shorts blew my mind. It's only 2 seasons.
Yeah.
2 seasons, yeah.
Hey Dude is like a lot.
Yeah.
But Salute Your Shorts is only 2.
And it makes you
I feel
wonder.
like Salute Your Shorts should be more than I loved Hey Dude, but like Salute Your Shorts was like a better show. In my
it was.
opinion.
I 100%
Because
agree.
Dina, I had a crush on Dina, so. But I also
was a ZZ man, but yeah.
I get it. Look, man, I can respect, but I'm gonna go with Dina.
The episode where Budnick rejects her killed me. Killed me.
I believe
Like
it.
Bobby Budnick, you're an idiot. Ian, number 9.
Transformers. More than meets the eye. Robots in disguise.
These guys.
These guys. The robots and these guys are helping them win chess tournaments, Jerry.
He's got a Deceptiplug. That's how he's so good at chess.
No, a Deceptiplug's a real thing. You order a 2-inch diameter and you don't know what's in the box.
All right, my number 10. Picture a white screen. A line comes across it.
Spy versus Spy.
Suddenly that line animates and pokes a dog in the butt twice.
Boing,
Boing, boing, bark, bark. Dun, 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 dun. Doug.
Did they change the theme song for the ABC?
Probably. They ruined everything about that show and moved to ABC. Yeah.
It did have a good theme song.
Dave, you're number 10.
Man, it's really tough because it's like the last one. And there are a lot of really good options.
There are a lot I'm not thinking of. Like, there's just not coming to mind.
I'd love to do... God, there's just too many. I want to do a Nicktoon. I haven't done a Nicktoon, but I think I'm...
It's Ren and Stimpy, right?
It's Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, yeah.
Ren and Stimpy.
I got Ren and Stimpy was.
Yeah. You got the one Mike Judge. I'll get another Mike Judge. I'll go Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead.
And Butthead.
Butthead.
Yeah. But man,
Ian, number 10, wrapping it up.
I can't get it out of my head, and I'm going to say it, although there are probably several that I will say later. Oh, fuck, I can't believe I didn't think of it. But this one is stuck here, and it's my number 10. La, 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 la,
I thought about it, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got to go in there because it sticks.
All right. There's a good 10-point draft, my friends.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Honorable mentions?
Danger Mouse.
Fucking Danger Mouse.
It came down to when I was on Hong Kong Phooey. It's either Hong Kong Phooey or Danger Mouse. They're in the same category for me.
That's another one of those that I was there for the theme.
Homie.
And then I would sort of fucking zone out during the show because it was like
that theme was
it was like Monty Python, but not funny.
Right.
That whole show was like weird as fuck, but that opening theme was
not just the theme,
shit.
but the intro.
The whole
itself.
opening.
Yeah,
oh
dude.
God.
Fuck yeah. Beetlejuice, the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about that one.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Man.
Ren and Stimpy. I know you mentioned it, but that was on the list.
Hey Arnold.
I don't know.
Hey Arnold's on my
I don't
list.
know.
I know. I can't get it in my head. I know it was a good song. I just can't get it in my head.
Hey, football head.
Oh, it was that like it's that weird scatty kind of jazz almost.
Yep.
Yeah. That's right.
Arnold.
That was good shit.
Neon Genesis Evangelion. A lot of anime that I didn't do.
Right.
And so I steered away from Naruto Shippuden and Naruto just because there are so many different intros.
Sure.
Like,
That happens
and I like
a lot
of them, so I steer clear of it.
Yeah, I get it.
Animaniacs and Tiny Toons.
Tiny Toons. Damn it.
God almighty.
Damn it. Motherfuck.
I said
Sailor
Looney
Moon,
Tunes
I
and
love.
didn't get to Animaniacs.
Almost said Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon's
Moon.
good.
Yeah, okay. I don't know that one.
Bob's Burgers, Archer,
God.
BoJack Horseman,
Yeah.
Samurai
Yeah,
Jack,
BoJack Horseman's a real good one.
Gargoyles. Gargoyles theme is very good.
Metalocalypse.
Metalocalypse, The Tick,
Yeah.
Avatar.
Avatar's a good one.
Both Avatars.
Yeah.
And then my second favorite anime soundtrack, if I saw it on vinyl, I might have to buy it to go with my Cowboy Bebop.
Trigun.
I've never even seen Trigun.
No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
Shit, I need to
But
watch Trigun.
Samurai Champloo.
Yeah, man.
God, Samurai Champloo is so fucking good.
Yeah, it has
like
a great-
I've
does have a great
gamed to that
soundtrack.
a lot. Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo have both been on normal rotation for gaming.
Nice.
Well, you guys will take a little break, then talk about some Krusty Super Funhouse.
Yeah,
do.
some super crusty Funhouse.
Super Funhouse Krusty Super. Say what?
That's like that Garfield meme where John's like taking something out of the oven. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Dude,
That the oven up lasagna to the yeah, I know it's you have to read it like 8 different times. It's still like, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, John.
Send in the clowns. Those daffy, laughy clowns. Send in those soulful and doleful schmotes by the bowlful clowns. Send in the clowns.
They're already here.
And now for the game talk.
The game talk. I just want to note that while Dave and I were just out back and we took a break, and I had a cigarette.
We witnessed a phenomenon.
We witnessed a phenomenon in the sky. We saw the huge, like shooting star, but it wasn't like a one of the
streak.
Like
it wasn't
switch bodies.
It wasn't one of those little whoosh, quick little. This was low and bright, or it had a tail. It was bright orange.
Chemtrails.
It might have been an airplane. I don't know, but it.
Well,
it
I had to
went-
ask. I was
you
like, that
asked.
wasn't an airplane, was it? Because it was fucking bright.
It was
and
huge and bright, and we could see like it breaking up. Like it was. I have never seen anything like that, and it went on for like. I mean,
a long time. You had time to point it out to me, and I was like,
pointed it
what?
out, and he looked up, and it went
Wow.
on that whole time. It was a good 10 seconds of streaking across the
Damn.
sky. It was crazy.
It was
And,
damn near Ray Stevens.
I hope it wasn't an airplane, because otherwise, if it wasn't an airplane, it was awesome. If it was an airplane, it was terribly
A bunch
tragic.
of people are dead.
And we saw that happen in real time.
No way it was an airplane, right? Because
I didn't hear. We would have heard something.
Whatever that was, that burned up in the
It
atmosphere.
did. I mean,
that
I
thing,
saw
like, just
pieces of it breaking off. Like stuff's gonna land in people's yards and shit. It was crazy.
it was. I've never seen anything like that.
haven't either.
I've never seen anything like that.
I had to
Well,
get that on
tomorrow,
record.
if we're all made out of clay, we know what happened.
I had to get that on record, so if it comes up, I'll be able to say we saw it and have proof that we documented it. I wish I would have had time to pull out my camera and film some of it, because it was in the sky for so long.
Yeah, it was in the sky so long that I had time to think. I didn't say it. UFO? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it would have kept going and not broken
It not
apart,
broken into
it would have
pieces
been
and
like,
burned
that's
out.
a goddamn fucking UFO right there, man.
Anyway, we were going to talk about games, right?
So yeah, before we get started with Krusty Super Funhouse, Dave, you sent me something out of the manual
Yeah,
to read.
I would love it if you would read to
So
set
to
up
give
the game.
The setup of the game in my best Kelsey Grammer voice of Sideshow Pop.
I've got a rake here that I need you to step on when you're done.
Carumba. Bart's superhero, Krusty the Clown, is in really bad trouble. Rats have invaded his funhouse. Is it Sayonara, Krusty Land? No way, man. Bart, Homer, Sideshow Mel, and Corporal Punishment stand armed with the coolest rat traps ever. Ever see a rat zapped with 20,000 volts or burst like a balloon? Warning, kids. Do not try this at home. We don't advocate cruelty to real animals, only their cartoon equivalents. All Krusty has to do is get the rats to the traps by moving blocks, connecting pipes, finding secret passageways, wrecking floors and walls, and generally having a great time. As for the slimy snakes slithering on the floor, the pink flying pigs bouncing around the sky, and the laser firing aliens, Krusty will show them real fun with a barrage of custard pies. So before a sawtooth rodent ruins Bart's #1 funhouse, and frankly outlandish creatures nail the man who put the K in comedy, play this game. Krusty the Clown needs you. Yes, you little.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Grammer.
I rented the shit out of this game as a kid.
Did you really?
I'd rented it several times.
We bought it.
I should have bought it.
Tanya and I played this one together. I did all the work, and she helped me solve the puzzles.
Back in the day?
Back in the day, yeah. And it was funny because when this game came up, we played Krusty's Funhouse on the NES.
Okay.
We didn't have the Super NES version, and they're pretty much the same.
Yeah,
Okay, I was
they're
just about to
really,
ask.
really
Yeah,
similar.
it's
This was released
it's
on
basically the
everything.
same game with lesser graphics, but not that much lesser. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
Krusty does not look like Krusty at all in the NES version.
right. You just have to say, yeah, those shapes look a little like Krusty might look if he were hit in the face with a hammer or something. I don't know, but we played this game so much, and it drove us insane, but in a good way. Like we never beat it because it just gets too fucking hard. At some point, it just got too hard.
It's ridiculous.
It's a
absolutely
very
ridiculous.
difficult game. After a point, it starts getting challenging right out of the gate. About level 2, end of level 2, it starts to get hard. And when it came up, I brought it up on my Steam Deck and I was playing it. And Tanya walked in the room and I said, "Hey, honey." She's like, "What?" I said, "It's back." And I turned the screen around. She's like, "Oh, fuck no." She knew immediately what it was. And we had such a good time playing it. And it was one of those, there are a couple of games I can name that she helped me play. This is one of them. The Zelda game for the Wii.
Skyward Sword.
No,
Twilight
the
Princess.
The GameCube.
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker. We played that one together.
And Twilight Princess.
And Banjo-Kazooie. We loved playing those types of games. But this one, hours and hours and days and months, we played this game. This was our thing. Every day we played this game. And it was, I very much enjoyed my experience with the game then, and I found it to still be, it's one of my favorites.
Enjoyable
I really,
to a point.
really enjoyed the game to a point to where I had to put it down and be like, nope, I can't put the effort into this that I once did, or I'll be doing this forever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It is a great time killer. It is a fantastic way to pass several hours if you're into like puzzle solving, and it's Mousetrap. It's Mousetrap, literally, only you just gotta
But sometimes there are miles between the traps.
right. And you gotta the point of the game is that you go into the fun house, you go into different rooms, and there are mice that start coming out of the holes, and the mice can only climb over things the same height as them.
They always walk forward.
And they
They're
always
constantly
walk
moving.
in one direction unless they get turned
If
around.
they hit a wall, they'll turn.
They'll
I've never
bounce
played
back.
Lemmings. Is Lemmings like this?
The lemmings, the way the lemmings work, yeah, because the lemmings just keep marching forward unless they hit a wall and they turn around. So in that regard, yeah, this definitely gave me Lemmings vibes. I even got that in my notes. But in Lemmings, you assign jobs to certain lemmings, where it's like, all right, lemming, instead of walking now, you stand still and hold your hands out, and you act as a wall, essentially. So you're not playing as a character. Like in this game, you're playing as Krusty, and you're trying to like control the flow of these like conga line of rats by like moving blocks and like connecting pipes and
there
all
are
that.
situations where they only give you a certain number of blocks. So you have to get the mice to walk into the trap, and they will walk right into it, but you have to
gotta
lay
get
out the right path to do it. So they give you blocks to put in places where they're too high to walk up, and they'll walk up the blocks and up the stairs. There's pipes that you have to have like the right directional pipe to connect to go through them and
Destroy walls.
And there are some points in this game where if you don't get it right, the mice will end up somewhere where you cannot get them out, and you have to stop and start over.
They have a suicide button.
They do have a suicide button, so if you have to give up,
Found that out by mistake.
I did too. I had forgotten all about that bit, but yeah, if you press select, Krusty just looks at breaks the fourth wall, and just dies.
I think he has a heavy set.
Yeah, he
That's what
does.
happens.
He does. I wish they had a. Are you sure?
Right. Yeah.
Just a pause.
Caution, you're about to
lose a life because you lose a life when you do this.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's a very, very challenging, and this game takes a lot of patience because the levels are big and the trap could be.
Well, we'll get into good things.
Yeah,
bad
the
things.
trap could be on the other end of a very big level, and you could set out your path. You just got to wait. You got to wait until every single mouse makes its way into the trap, and then you're sure. But they don't tell you that all the mice have been caught. They don't.
Right.
They don't give you any indication.
Sometimes they're split.
You're right. So you've got to get them into the trap, and if you get them all and you leave the level, the door locks behind you, and you've cleared it. If you leave a level and you haven't fully cleared it, the door isn't locked. You have to go back in and start all over. So it can be frustrating, but honestly, in this case, I think that's by design, and that's one of the things that adds kind of to the charm of it for me. So that's the overall overview of how the game works.
Speaking of design, and earlier when we were talking about Cat Williams, when I first turned this game on, I thought it was weird because they give you most games will give you the licensing information at the beginning. And a lot of times I don't pay attention to it because it's whatever. But this time I did, because not only is this a Simpsons property, but it's all in that Simpsons font. And it's done in bright yellow on black. So it's super high contrast. And I noticed Fox Williams. And it was there's licensing from Fox Williams. And I was like, who is Fox Williams? Is that associated with Fox?
Fox and Williams Gaming,
Network?
maybe.
It's Ham's brother.
It's
Fox.
Cat's cousin.
Fox Ham.
I just named my kids after what I see.
Right. Ham kind of sounded like Forrest Gump a little bit.
I mean, his name is Ham. So
Fox Williams is the name of a guy who designed a game called Rat Trap.
Oh yeah, I read about this
for the Commodore Amiga in 1991,
which is the year before this was released.
And then what happened was Acclaim Entertainment got the rights from The Simpsons to make a Simpsons game, and they were like, "Hey, Fox."
Yeah.
Williams.
What? We just told you could have the licensing to The Simpsons.
Yeah, but we need your license to Rat Trap because we don't want to make a game and you've already done it. So this way we cannot do anything and make money on the Simpsons license. Fox Williams.
We've done the We Live spoof.
Giddy up.
What else are we going to do? Rats?
Right. Yes. So that's kind of how that shook out. And I don't know. There is some gameplay of Rat Trap on YouTube. And to you two at this table who I know played Krusty's Super Fun House, I definitely recommend you check out this video, because if you're anything like me, you turn it on and you're like, God damn, this is the same fucking video game. I mean, it's it looks exactly the goddamn same, except they just changed the sprite from this kid with purple hair to Krusty, and then put some posters around.
I love that they did that.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's I know we're gonna get to good things.
Yeah.
All that
We're going to
stuff
buy
is on
that
my good
Moe's
list.
Tavern poster. Put it up on
Right?
here.
Yeah.
Just in general, that they took what they saw to be a good game and just skinned it to match the license rather than trying to fucking make something new that didn't work out. I think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, and we've seen it before. I mean, Eek the Cat was a clone, like a reskin of Sleepwalker.
Right.
We see this kind of stuff all the time. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is really cool.
And it also explained to me why it felt a little British. British video games are
Only British people can fly. Yes.
only British people can fly, and only British. I feel like British platformers kind of do a thing. There are certain when you play a bunch of fucking old video games, and it's there's a point when you're playing a game for me, I'm playing a game where it's like maybe 10, 15 minutes in, I'm like, is this a British game? And I'll look it up and it's like, yeah, it's a British game. Because they just makes a couple different decisions, you know, where it's like usually like, oh, in this platformer, when I jump on an enemy, I have to press down when I jump on it or I die. Is this a British video game? Yep, sure is.
It's the Friends of Cole of video games.
Yes.
What was that one we just played not long ago that was the British video game? It was terrible. It was
Frantic Flea.
Frantic Flea,
Which
yeah.
kind of, it's weird that we're doing Krusty's Super Funhouse right after Frantic Flea because there are some similarities.
There are.
Where it's like,
except this one doesn't kind of suck.
this one is not
it's good.
nearly as shitty as Frantic Flea was. Frantic Flea is a very super bad video game. But you also mentioned that you played this on the NES. And I thought it's worth mentioning that this game was released fucking everywhere.
Yeah, it was.
It had a release on the SNES, on the NES, MS-DOS, Game Boy, Game Gear, Genesis, and the Master System.
Yeah.
So they were covering all their bases.
And they probably
Like
made
Krusty would do.
Yes.
Yes, like Krusty.
They probably made a shit pot of money on this one.
Probably. And I'm curious if
This is one of the ones I can actually say I bought this.
Yeah.
And I'm still struggling as to whether or not we played it on NES or Super NES. I had a Super NES at the time, so now I'm thinking I may have played it on Super NES with Tanya, but it's irrelevant either way.
I wanted to check it out, but I didn't have time. I wanted to check out how it played on the Game Boy, because if it plays well on the Game Boy, I really do think a game like this would suit me better on a handheld device.
100%.
It's a great handheld game. I played it on my Steam Deck.
I did as well,
and it worked. It was nice.
It's great in that
perfect.
situation. And honestly, in 1992, I didn't really have the same expectations, that I do now. Where it's like, I can't imagine playing this in 1992 and being like, oh my god, I wish I could play this
somehow. Take this with me and play it in the living room or on the toilet. Yeah,
but I feel like puzzle games and puzzle platformers really do well for me on
right.
handheld
And there's
devices.
not a lot of movement. There's not a lot of special graphics. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
and that save state, like the going to sleep, the sleep mode on the Steam Deck is really nice for a game like this too, because it's like, fuck this for now. Boop. Go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later be like, all right.
I'm going to get into the save stating thing.
And that's what I did basically as a kid. Like I would play it, get frustrated, quit, take it back. Days later, think of the solution, beg to rent it again, go play that level, keep going.
I can 100% see that. Yeah.
That one would have been a really good. It calls to you later. It's one of those. It's like it goes on in your insight in the back of your mind, and then like you said, you think of it like, oh fuck, I know.
Why
what
didn't
I
I do
forgot
that?
to do.
Yeah.
So you go get it again. Yeah. No, I get that. I do.
Well, if we'd never played this but saw the box art, what would you think about it?
It was box art. It was Krusty. It was made to get your attention and say, this is a Simpsons game.
Which Simpsons games are so all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Typically horrible.
Yeah.
Outside of the arcade game and hit and run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had never played this game before. This is my first time playing it. And I knew about it though. So I knew it was like a kind of like a puzzle platformer, Lemmings-like-ish kind of game. But I don't know that I would have gotten that from looking at the box art. Like
it didn't.
Not
It didn't
at
communicate the point of the game, but it wasn't designed to. It was. None of those ever are. They're just Simpsons. It's Simpsons.
Right.
I would have
Buy
thought
this.
platformers where Krusty jumps on rats like Mario jumps on turtles.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
that'd just be
absolutely.
it.
Me
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
So, but if you were to compare this game to a movie or celebrity, your experiences, what would you compare it to?
I had a couple. First one is not so much the game as the main character, Krusty. I've always loved Krusty,
Yeah, he's
and he always, out of all, he sort of embodies the journey of the old school comedian / talk show host. I always think
This isn't
I
makeup.
can always tell how much Conan O'Brien had to do with Krusty the Clown's personality. By listening to his podcast, I can say, God, I know where you were coming from when you wrote shit for Krusty the Clown. This was your influences were clear here, and but Krusty always reminded me, and this game makes me think of Jerry Lewis. Because the telethon thing, we would always have Krusty in his tuxedo with the tie undone, and that was a
herpes.
Yes, this is the 17th hour, and we're it was absolutely a shout out to Jerry Lewis and that sort of thing. And I wish there had been a spot in the game where Krusty was wearing his tux. Like, it would make perfect sense if the whole rat thing happened right after the telethon and Krusty had to go deal with it rather than go home and get drunk and go to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or he driven his Canyonero over some,
yes.
some mice.
Yes. I figure he would have paid someone to do this and not do it himself. Here's some money. My house is dirty. Go buy me a clean one. Buy me a clean house. But the movie that I think of when I think of this game is a strange one. Probably it might seem a little odd. It's Fantasia, the Sorcerer's Apprentice, particularly. Things just get out of control. Yeah, the time management and the management of the brooms. Mickey freaking out trying to deal with the brooms and the water and all these things going on at once. That part of that movie stresses me the fuck out. Just like Cat in the Hat stresses me the fuck out.
Just like fighting a Hydra stresses you out.
Exactly. All those things. Dungeons and Dragons was a good cartoon theme song too.
Damn, I didn't even think of that, but you're right.
But this just gives me those vibes of being stressed out and solving problems, and there's a big and if you fuck up, you gotta. There's a penalty.
Yep.
So that's my picks.
Dave.
I chose Charles Kyoto, who is he played JoJo the Clownzilla and Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Right.
And I think it was him and his brother who made the movie as well. So the reason I chose it is honestly just because I mentioned it to Ian on Saturday.
We did talk about Killer
top
Clowns.
Of mind.
Yeah.
So I've been in this. That was the first thing I thought of. It's like, oh, clowns. That's weird because Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Plus, spelled with K's, like Krusty, and also man, they used to play that fucking movie on HBO so much when I was 7 years old. And in the morning, they were just like, fuck it, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird to think about now where it's it was just you fucking see titties and shit at 10 a.m.
Yeah. There was a point in time at which HBO was the Wild West, and then they went into that mode of we're not going to show any rated R movies before 7.
Right.
And now they're back to not giving a shit.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah. They show whatever.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, all those HBO free preview weekends. Holy shit, man. That's the best intro. That fucking logo flies over the
scene. I see that. I see that.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Every once in a while, that shit will pop up on my YouTube, and I will watch the whole thing. That's what we saw up in the sky. It was the HBO logo.
It's so old that it's disintegrated.
It went all the way out to the edge of the solar system and came back tonight.
Did I not tell you they built one of those spheres in Vegas over all of my neighborhood?
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, it was HBO. I chose Saw.
Saw.
In the way that the mice die.
It is pretty brutal.
So every world, has a different Simpsons character operating the death machine in a different way.
Bart's is a hammer.
Yep.
That smooshes them.
Sideshow Mel puts air in their mouth and blows them up.
Homer's is a laser.
The laser zapper. I only ever got to Sideshow Mel, the third world. I know. I watched the tasks of this done in an hour 10 but with corporal punishment.
God,
That's
and
a long ass fucking game. If
Yep.
task takes an hour 10.
Yep.
It's
Good
because you got to
Lord.
wait
They're
for all the
so-
mice to go into their
Holy
thing.
shit.
Yeah, I believe it.
There's a lot
I
of
believe
there's a
it.
lot of the
Just-
bot just moving sporadically around the door for
Waiting.
for like 2 minutes and then going in the door.
Oh.
because touching the door, you exit.
Yeah.
If all the mice are got, if you touch the door and you leave the level, you're done. You've done it.
Yep.
So yeah.
Let's see. Good things. Good things about this.
I liked the graphics and the sound. I love the little posters in the background of, give a hoot, read a book, things like that. It felt Simpsons-y.
It did feel Simpsons-y. There's a poster that bothered me, and I need to ask you about it because there's a poster for Krusty Flakes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why the fuck is that not Krusty
Crusty
O's?
O's? I don't know.
That one
That's a
bugged
good
me.
question,
That one really
actually.
was like,
I didn't think about it, but now that you mention it, that doesn't make sense.
and then I had to be like, were there Krusty Flakes? And I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer to that.
because I always thought it was just Krusty O's. Because he
That's
eats
all
the
I've-
metal O.
yeah, the metal
no,
O.
sorry, he eats the regular O to
Yeah.
demonstrate how safe they are.
I thought that another good thing, I thought the gameplay was solid. It was engaging. It was a lot of fun, super challenging to the point of
There
frustration.
are both.
There are both.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
I'm glad they're offering variety.
Because they had the chocolate frosted frosty crusty flakes. Only sugar has more sugar.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good.
Only sugar has more sugar. God, I love that show so much. They're so funny.
Yeah.
But I thought it was challenging and fun. I had the same experience this week as I had, 30 years ago when we played this game the first time. It was
30 years ago.
yeah, it was. It's still just as good as it was to me then. And also the final good thing I just really liked the game as a whole. I generally very much enjoyed it. But the other good thing I put in, I thought they were if you knew where to look, they were fairly generous with extra lives, power-ups, food to, bring up your life, things like that. So yeah, those are my 3 good things for Krusty's.
I really liked the voice samples in the game. I thought they were done really well.
agreed.
Krusty to me sounded like Krusty.
Hey!
Like his
Yeah,
best.
it
Like
did.
in the beginning, hey kids. I mean, it's like, and it's like
A huge
even his
Krusty head on
his-
the screen.
Yeah,
Like-
and his groans are like. I know that sounds silly, but when you give up, he's like. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds
No,
like
they
him.
did. They nailed it.
So I thought that was really great. I also have, the posters in the background of the stages because honestly, they were just kind of fun to look at, especially when you were kind of waiting around. And
They had one of Sideshow Bob for the Springfield Theater or something. Just
yeah.
fact that it was stuff that they came up with. You could tell they came up with these things for the game.
Right.
Little things
The
like
references
that.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's one for Otto,
Yeah.
the bus driver. I can't remember exactly what it was for.
Because we need to advertise our
Right,
bus driver.
Right, we got right. I also liked that there's a password system. I thought that was nice. I didn't know that that's what it was in the beginning because at the very beginning of the game, at the title screen, there's "Hi kids," and it's okay. And then so I just change it to suck dick. It's let's just see what happens, and nothing happens. The game just starts. And then later I realized, that's where you put a password in.
Okay. See, I didn't know that
But it
because
sucked dick and it just groans.
I didn't know that was a password system. I save stated my way through this one. I'll get to that.
I also I love the character design of the rats, and that goes to Matt Groening.
They were
So-
fat
and
and plump and funny looking.
Yeah.
Good in a good way.
yeah, and they're drawn in the what I assume is concept art. They're in the instruction manual, and I like the character design quite a bit.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I think it's fun. I like the way most of the puzzles are done. Most keyword most of asterisk. And I didn't feel like there was a lot of glitches or anything. I feel like it was in a game where all shit could go wrong very easily. I didn't see a lot of it. Like I didn't have mice disappearing and levels uncompletable. Like,
and if there was a problem, it was because you did something wrong, and not because the game was flawed.
How about some bad things?
I felt like it was too easy to get hit by enemies. Took a little practice to get good at dodging and jumping out of the way of the lasers or the snakes or the whatever.
The pigs would fucking fly around like red brands or whatever, devils and ghosts and goblins. Yeah.
And I didn't care for the way that I would have liked to have had a little bit more robust targeting with the pies that you throw as ammunition. You just sort of threw them in a weird little arc, and it was easy, but it didn't go very far, and it was easy to miss your target. But it doesn't really give you, like, I don't know. I felt like with a game like this, the thing that was good about that was when you would beat an enemy, when you would defeat an enemy, it wouldn't come back.
Stayed dead.
And that's good, because that would have added a lot more frustration. There was already frustrating.
All the back and forth you have to do, that would have fucking sucked.
That would have really sucked. So get them out of the way, but it was just too easy to run out of ammo. And if you didn't know where to go look or to find more, in some levels, you don't have time. When you start the level, you have got to get to a point where you can at least corral the mice. There was one level that, and that goes to my next kind of bad thing, is they don't really set goals. They don't tell you how many total mice that you have. They don't tell you what your life is.
Right.
Like, you only know that you're hurt because you're like standing there breathing heavily because you've been hit several times.
Which is interesting. That's an interesting concept to like communicate to the player that way.
And I like to know where I'm at health wise,
especially in a game like this.
But I would also have liked to have had a mouse counter, to know, like, when you finish a level,
if one didn't fall off, it run the opposite
or
way,
it's still saying I've got 5 mice, I need to go look. But in some of these levels, it was one of the earlier levels, I went to the left of the level and started looking for extra lives, pies, things to pick up, whatnot. And by the time I got finished with the level, I realized that the mice had already made their way into a hole that I couldn't get them out of.
Yeah.
So I had to do that one again, and this time I had to go deal with the mice first, and then go back to the other side of the level, and the only way to the other side of the level was to pass the door. So I had to jump over the door and not touch it, because, again, if you've gotten all the mice and you touch the door, you leave and you can't go back in. And so I think that there was a couple of little design issues there that could have been handled differently.
Additionally, I think it would be cool if, when you completed a stage, if it just showed your time.
I agree.
Because I think that would be a neat thing, because you enter these stages through doors, like we've been talking about, and each level has like a certain number of doors. And
it feels like the Addams Family in that regard, the way Krusty moves in the door.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, if you completed a stage, I think it'd be nice if your time was like displayed outside of that door.
But this goes back to good things. I'm really glad there was no timer on this game.
Right.
They give you all the time you need to get it right, but again, the mice might end up. You are on somewhat of a timer in some levels, because you got to get to those mice, and if they get stuck, you're fucked, and you got to start over. But I save stated my way through this, because the quitting, every time I would go into a level, I would try to be full on ammo and life and everything else. I would save, and then right before I left the level, I would save state again, so that in case I forgot something, I wouldn't have to go back and do it all again. I could just return to my save state and then go look for what I forgot.
Because you got to find a key too. Like, I mean, you got to find a way to the next level, right? Like, they're hidden in magic blocks.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. It was like there's blocks that you pick up that you use to corral to get the mice to go over humps or whatever. Or you can use them as blockades. If you don't want them to go into a pipe yet, put the block in front of the pipe, and then you could go do your other thing. But the other blocks, it was almost hard to know. You could kick them.
Right. Yeah, they get the stuff.
Right.
I wish
but you
could...
can't kick any other time unless you're standing right next to one of those blocks.
Weird rules. And I wish you could collect the blocks and have multiple blocks instead of like set one down, run across, get another one, set one down.
I agree with that, but I think
it's by design.
It's definitely by design. That's part of that puzzle, like managing the one block.
Exactly.
See, that's I guess that's where I feel like some of it's fluff.
Yeah.
Like all the space and all the back and forth, when I would have much preferred like smaller, tighter puzzles.
I think they could have made... I think part of the game's charm and the puzzle's charm is how big the levels are, and it sort of adds to that stress factor of you got to go back. I would go make my path as best I could and then work my way back and double check everything before I'd let them out and to do their thing. You know, my way was always trap them somewhere, if possible, construct, then release, and hopefully they go the right way.
Sounds like a good strategy.
But it wasn't always. Sometimes you had to like get it. Once you get them through one part, they're not stopping.
Yeah.
And so you got to get in front of them and then put a block right down in front of them so they don't fall down this hole and you have to start all over.
They don't go into a pipe that then circles them back up to the beginning of the level.
Yeah. But so I think that's part of the charm of the bigger levels is it gives a far more challenging puzzle. But I'm with you, Tyler, in that smaller levels, smaller puzzles would have been equally successful.
Some of it just felt like busy work almost.
It really did.
So,
you're not wrong.
It was so big.
And it did take sometimes the mice never go any faster or slower. They go at the same pace. Sometimes you'd save kill 3 or 4 mice and then have to turn around and do the whole process again for the ones that you couldn't get the first time through. And so, yeah, it was, I think about, there was a really neat puzzle game that was on like a iPhone or whatever. It was a the Friday the 13th killer something. I can't remember. But it was a puzzle game where you tried to.
I remember hearing about this
get
one.
Jason.
I never played.
I played it a lot. I heard
about it from you.
I played it on Nintendo Switch actually.
I definitely heard about it from you. Yeah. I remember this.
It was a new puzzle every day. Right. And I played it. It was fun, but those were on one grid. And they were just as challenging, and you didn't have to manage multiple screens and stay ahead of a bunch of different stuff. So I could see this game being done on a smaller scale and still being very successful.
I was really frustrated. Tyler, I think you touched on this. There are points where it's like, okay, so the Y button throws a pie if I have it, but if I'm standing right next to a magic block, I kick the block. So that's another one where it's like, is this a British game? And also when like, it took me, but for the record, I didn't like this game. I love that you guys like it, love it, but like this was a pass for me, dog. Like when I first started playing, I was like, okay, there's a block. Okay, you go up to it. Y. Nope, that didn't pick it up. X. No. B. Okay, no. A. Right. L button. Oh, that muted the music. Thank God. I hate this fucking music. And it's like, and I think that they knew it was bad because they literally put a button in it that turns it the fuck off. It's not in a menu at the title screen. It's like, dude, press the L button and it's good. And like, you still have the sound effects. Don't have a problem with the sound effects. Yeah. I think they're good. But that music,
gets to you.
It's so grating, and it's like the loop is like 3 fucking seconds long. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, oh my God. Okay, so but that didn't do it. But phew, that's a step in the right direction. R button. Nope, that didn't pick it up either. Well, I guess I don't need to pick this up. And then I found other blocks, and those are the magic blocks where items are in. Okay, why? Okay, that kicked it. Okay, all right, that kicked it, and a purse came out. Okay, let me go back to that other block because I didn't know. I was like, I don't know what to do with these rats. So I go back to that other block, and I'm like, why? Okay, and I just happen
to jump on it,
push down,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, now it's in my inventory. That's intuitive. That was off on. We were off on a bad foot right there.
That I had forgotten as well. I did the same thing.
It's just obtuse, you know.
It is obtuse. Once you get it, you've got it, and it makes sense.
Sure.
But it is frustrating.
But it's not intuitive like at all. So yeah, I had some issues with that, and then I kind of honestly, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I don't like playing these kinds of games, and I mean I don't like to go to that well, because I mean I like to try to judge things as like fairly as I possibly can.
Yeah, but
I mean,
you
it's
like what you like.
I'm
But this is
like that
tough.
about plenty of genres. So
Yeah, and I mean it's tough for me to. But there are also puzzle platformers that I think do it very, very well. Like Donkey Kong 94 is a fantastic puzzle platformer, and I feel like it's because it feels equal puzzle to platforming, where like a game like Krusty's Funhouse feels more like puzzle to me.
Yeah, it is.
And I could totally see like this would honestly be a great game for Nikki and I to play together, because I think we'd have a similar experience.
You'd
that
work
you and Tanya
work
would have,
together
where we
and-
work together. But when it's just me, I don't like. What happens is I start to like, when I can't figure something out immediately, my brain goes to, you are wasting your minutes that you have left. Are you enjoying this? And I really started.
Right.
I start evaluating it. It's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to spend my minutes like this, you know. But in other genres, I don't have that problem, because it's. I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's more reflexive or if it's, you know. But with puzzle games specifically that I'm playing by myself, it almost always feels like a waste of time.
This one is also much more tedious. Than
like Tyler
than
was saying
most.
with the busy word.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's very
Certain
tedious
parts of
and
it are
it's
very
slow
tedious.
paced and it's
like if you only get one mouse at a time when you have to reset the blocks.
it can be very, very frustrating, and it does seem like time is ticking away, because it's very rare in most video games you don't find yourself just standing
Sitting
and waiting.
there, right, waiting for something.
But
sure.
and you know, even Krusty has a little
Like an idle
Egyptian
animation?
dance that he
Right, yeah,
does
yeah.
whenever
Yeah.
whenever you're standing there. But and so they knew that. But I mean, I can understand both perspectives on this game,
Sure,
because there's
yeah.
plenty of things that you could like about it, and plenty of things it's just not going to be for everybody.
No.
Yeah,
it's-
I get that. I don't have trouble I'm not. What do you mean you don't like it? I get it. I can It's not. It's for a certain type of person.
And I'm
certain
not trying
type
to
of
shit on
gamer.
it either.
No,
I mean,
I get it.
For
I
a
do.
honestly, like for a Simpsons game, this is like pretty fucking good. I know that's like a low bar, but this is like pretty fucking good. I'd rather play Bart versus the Space Mutants than this, but like not by a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Because at least Bart versus the Space Mutants, I feel like, well, I can get there eventually.
There's
you know what I
stuff to
mean?
do.
Like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
some of
this one's
is
just kind of like, I don't know, man. I think I'm just gonna get to a point where it's, I put in an hour. That's like that's my requisite time that I put into.
That's
a
part of
game.
why I recommended it, because I feel like you get most
You get
everything
it,
out
right.
of
Yeah,
it.
you get the idea real quick.
But by the end of that hour, it was like, I don't want to do any more of it.
Yep. Well, buy, rent, or birthday.
Well, it's been both buy and rent for me.
Yeah.
We rented it enough to I was like, fuck, let's just buy this thing.
I
buy
should.
it,
Same
yeah.
here. Same
And
here.
So yeah, again, and I would have, as a kid, I would have loved to have gotten this for my birthday. I think as an only child, this would have been a great game for me to sit down and play by myself. You know, again, a little bit inverse to kind of what Dave was saying, but I would have enjoyed very much sitting in my bedroom and playing this alone.
Yeah,
Just as a time killer.
I would
when I
too.
had time to kill.
I would too. So I feel like it's important for me to say this is my opinion on the game. now in 2023. When I was a kid, I fucking loved puzzle games.
Right.
And it's because I wasn't constantly thinking about dying.
Right. And you had
it was
time.
just like, I'm a time millionaire.
Right.
Fuck it.
Which
you
has
know?
been the
And it's like I
theme.
would sit there and play something, even if I didn't love it.
We could change.
I had it,
Yeah.
and it was there,
Yeah.
and I would sit there and I would play it all. I mean, as far as I could. But now it is
different. I mean, you could change the name of this show to we had back when we had time.
Right.
Play or death.
Yeah, it was play or death. But yeah, this was definitely, and you could tell this one was. I think this one was geared more towards tweens and teens and the younger people, but also provides enough of a challenge for anyone that's still interested in it. And I'm not going to say that I spent about 2 hours on this one. Mostly for the nostalgia factor. For me, it was just like, oh fuck, I remember this. Oh my god, you know, that was a good stroll down memory lane for me. And Tanya's reaction was worth it. You know,
Right.
It was just one of those things. So I did spend a couple hours with it, but I don't know that I'm gonna. I had forgotten about it, and I may from time to time go back and be like, give it another go, but. It's never going to be as good as it was the first time. But in this case, I've played several games where I had played them as a kid and loved them, and then gone back and played them as an adult and been like, this game sucks.
Yep.
This was not one of them. And I wasn't a kid when I played it the first time either, but I was quite a bit younger. I was, in my early 20s.
Sure.
But I did have that rare phenomenon of, man, this is exactly the way I remember it. And it's still fun. So
I'm glad that you got that.
It was cool. Yeah.
It's just tough for me, and it's one of those where it's like I'd feel bad. I'd feel bad recommending this to somebody. Like this wouldn't be a go-to recommendation.
This would be if you need to preface it.
Yeah.
This is what
You have to know
is.
someone's taste very well.
Or warn them, give them that warning of this is not an action-y game. It's a slow puzzler. It takes a lot of time and thought, and give them that warning. Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't.
Most of the time, it's a slow puzzler. Sometimes it's not at all, and it's a super stressful, fast puzzler trying to pick up the blocks and make stairs in the middle of nowhere to make mice go up into a to murder
and you can just tell that this game came from a designer in the days of when game designers were coming up with fresh, unique things like Tetris. And, this game makes me think of Tetris, and it's the way that it's unique.
It is very unique.
It's got an interesting concept, and then they skinned it as The Simpsons, which gets that curb appeal.
And it works. And I feel like they made the right choice in this being Krusty. I think that's
and not Bart. They take one of the B-list characters and sort of bring him to the spotlight, and it's a perfect.
I think that was
scenario.
a good choice, and I think it's a good use of the license. It's just not for me, and I don't think I think it's one of those games where it's like if you don't like mini puzzle platformers, or if you think about death a lot, then don't do it. I mean, back in the day, dude, like the Adventures of Lolo, like those games, man, I used to love those. And those are puzzle games. But again, and I'm thinking about how much time I spent on those. Never finished them, but loved them. And it's like, I'm curious if I could go back and play those now,
right,
or not. Like if the nostalgia would,
I think maybe the nostalgia would hit. It would be awesome, and then you'd be like thinking about death again.
Right. Yeah.
Yep, I've already done this.
That was a good fix. All right.
Yeah. That's like with Sea of Stars. I don't think about death at all.
Right. Exactly. This is great.
So top 100, bottom 100.
For me, I think it does belong in the top 100 as a puzzler. I think it has a solid place as a good puzzle game for the top 100. I think you could take any kind of shitty puzzle game that might be in the top 100 and replace it with this, and you'd be doing well.
Yeah, I'd put it in the top 175 at least is where I can see myself.
I like to think of the top 100 as even though it doesn't actually, I do think it needs to encompass
Every
at
genre.
least a flavor, a piece of every genre, and I think this belongs in there as a solid puzzler that'll keep you busy or make you wish you were dead, thinking about death.
Oh no, not wishing.
Not wishing you were dead.
Just
but
thinking about it.
thinking
I
about
would
death.
rather play this than Populous.
Wow.
I
would
put up there.
I would much rather play Populous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's more of a sim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't mind managing things in games. I think that can be a lot of fun sometimes.
I mean, if you think if let's just say, for example, if like Bust a Move and Bust a Move 2 were in the top 100, take one of those out and put this in its place is where I'm kind of getting at.
Hey man, I wouldn't do that, but that's I can
yeah.
see it. For me, this is like a 350. Like this is like a. I don't think this is a bad game. I don't think
Just
it's
not for
I don't
you.
think it's a good game.
Put it in the middle.
I think it's for me, it's a middling game. Yeah. And I mean, I can think of I'd much rather play this than Simant. You know what I mean? So
Right.
and much rather play this than Frantic Flea.
Yes. But neither one of those were in the top 100.
Right.
So-
Yeah. But I mean, even like IGN's top 100, I wouldn't replace any of those games with Krusty's Super
Okay.
Funhouse.
I like when we're divided. I think it adds flavor to the episode.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any achievements?
I had a couple.
Yes. Go for them.
Mine are all Krusty the Clown quotes. Sex Cauldron? I thought they closed that place down years ago. And to get that, you find the hidden bonus levels in each puzzle. My second one is, I'd like to thank God for all my success, even though I never worshiped or believed in him in any way. And to get that achievement, you beat the game, which I don't think is possible. And then my last one is, we're going to die, and I've never tasted cantaloupe. You didn't miss much. Honeydew's the money melon. And to get that, you finish a level while Krusty is on his last hit and breathing heavily.
Nice. That's a good one.
Dave?
My first achievement is, you people are pigs. I personally am going to spit into every 50th burger. In order to unlock, you people are pigs. I personally am going to spit into every 50th burger. Collect 50 Krusty burgers. Those are an item in the game.
That is a good one, yes.
Next achievement. Loud! That's our secret word for the day! God damn it. I love that's like one of my favorite bits. The fucking cat goes insane. Just the look on the cat's face when it's like all the loud noises like that fucking is some of the best goddamn comedy.
It really is.
But in order to unlock loud, that's our secret word for the day. Never turn the music off in the game.
Yep.
Next achievement is, and I contend that those tourists were decapitated before they entered the Krusty Land House of Knives. In order to unlock, and I contend that those tourists were decapitated before they entered the Krusty Land House of Knives. You see every rat executioner that the game has. So Bart.
Yep.
And did we talk about how like they're like we did talk about how they're like the rats are one by one,
Yeah.
like
Saw style
systematically
executed, yeah.
right. Yeah.
Very. They very painfully and slowly execute these mice.
And they make a sound,
Yeah.
which is definitely like the North American like. I have a feeling like part of the deal with the Simpsons license was like, hey, by the way, in the manual you have to put like a thing in there that says that you
not
don't-
to
Warning,
kill.
kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And my last achievement is, Mr. Teeny, stop fiddling with those buttons. Oh no, you got chocolate all over everything. In order to unlock, Mr. Teeny, stop fiddling with the buttons. Oh no, you got chocolate all over everything. Play this game without reading the manual. And try hitting all of the face buttons to pick up a block. And when you're supposed to stand on top of it, you hit down on the D-pad. And by that point, you've gotten chocolate all over the buttons.
They should have had like a bonus Mr. Teeny screen clip.
God damn, yes.
Where you could like just kill all the enemies,
Or I want to just make him. I just want to press a button and he does a different pose.
Yeah.
Like that would have been like enough for me to be like, oh, okay, I'm not thinking about dying now. I press A, he does this pose.
There
I
we
press
go.
Y, he does this pose.
and there's plenty.
Like
you
while
know.
you're waiting for rats.
Yeah.
It's like you just press a button and you just move.
Have him go, hey,
Like-
hey, hey,
yeah.
hey, hey,
Anything.
hey, hey.
Like dancing in Chrono Trigger.
Yep.
Where it's like, okay, we're dancing. We're pressing a button, they do a pose.
I had 3. The first one being, what a bozo. You like that when you die. The second one being, who the hell is Corporal Punishment? You get to stage 4. I'd never heard of that
Had
character.
you not?
I'd never seen that character. Nope. No idea who that was.
That's awesome. I love it.
That is
I love that your introduction to Corporal Punishment was Krusty Super Fun House.
The last one being, like Christopher Columbus, but without the rape or the enslavement, but keeping the murder. Explore and get all the bonuses in a world.
I got that achievement.
There we go. You want to see what Flopsy has to say about it?
Yeah, I'm totally prepared to do that.
I was wondering earlier, where's Flopsy? But I didn't want to say anything.
Flopsy's in Flopsy's house. Flopsy doesn't leave my bag ever.
We don't want Flopsy 2 to have the same fate as Flopsy 1.
My bag I don't think is moldy yet.
Yeah.
But I keep Flopsy in the bag because I always bring the bag. It's
Right.
To me with recording. To me
with recording, yeah.
I would like to go to there.
Same me too, also. Ann.
Yeah.
Romantic letter to me with recording.
You know what I said about the mold in the bag? I'm trying to second guess that.
Is my messed up speech? Oh man, it's still popping.
According to Flopsy, a.k.a. the SNES, the guide to the SNES library, 1991, the package goes in my mind. Krusty's
I think Flopsy
All right. What do you guys
gave
think?
this game 3.5 stars, and I think it's common.
So I was going to say 3 stars uncommon.
Man, I'm kind of with you, Ian. I think 3.5 stars. And the only reason I think common is because it's The Simpsons, and it's 1992.
And it's on every single system.
Yeah,
I
that
think
is
it's going to
also-
be common.
In fact, I wonder if very common is a thing.
Too common.
Too common. A little too
I don't.
common.
I just think 3.5 stars common. And
All
you
right.
said 3 stars uncommon.
3
Tyler?
stars uncommon.
According to the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library, 1991 to 1998, by Pat Contry, courtesy of Monster Mo Mike and a shadowy benefactor, Krusty's Super Fun House, 2.5 stars. Availability, come on.
That tracks. I think it's for me. I think it's a little low, but I can understand why it would get 2.5 stars.
I'm good with the 2.5 stars. That aligns with me. The reason I said 3.5 is just because I know how Flopsy does. And
Yeah,
they're
right.
usually
Skews high.
They usually
Pad
skew
it,
high.
yeah. Especially for a franchise.
Yeah, that's true. How much do you think this game is if you were to buy it? Loose.
This one's got to be cheap.
Loose.
I'm gonna say $8.50.
$12.
$12 from Tyler, $8.50 from Ian. The price of Krusty's Super Fun House Loose for the Super Nintendo, on average, according to PriceCharting.com, is $15. $15.
fair.
Probably
Fair.
because it is The Simpsons. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
might be.
I have no idea. That seems high to me.
Does it?
Yeah.
See. It seems reasonable to me. If I was a collector, I'd give 15 for that one.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you have this one?
I don't, and I'm not saying I'd love to own it. I would love to own it. I'm just saying 15 seems high to me for a game that's this common. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You're probably right. It's probably it was probably well received because I think this one got a 79% from IGN or whatever at the time.
Yeah.
So well received and licensed. A license like The Simpsons, I would imagine, is probably what's driving that.
Probably. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a beard, sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would it be?
The world's longest smoker's beard.
What is a smoker's beard? Like the beard of a smoker?
Yeah, where it's just kind of yellow around the mouth where they smoke with their beard on.
Yes.
Because
Gotta
it's
take that beard off when you smoke.
Because it's very, very long. This game is so long, and it's got some shit in there. I like it. It's cool in that it's a long beard, but it's long and there's shit in there. Sorry.
Okay. What kind of glasses would you give it?
The old-fashioned goggles that people in like
do nothing.
the 40s would drive. Yeah.
My eyes.
Yeah, goggles that do nothing. There you go. That's even better.
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't mean to trample on that.
No.
I heard goggles and we were talking about The Simpsons, so I had to.
That makes more sense.
Do you guys want to randomize a game, or what do you want to do there?
We could randomize and then discuss whether or not we're going to hit Sea of Stars or if we're not ready next week.
Yeah.
That way we'll have something on deck. What do you think?
At this rate, I definitely won't be ready. I can't imagine blowing through 2 chapters by next week. But I don't know, do you guys want to keep riding the Simpsons wave?
Are you thinking like Virtual Bart?
Virtual Bart, Bart's a Nightmare.
Yeah, we haven't done that one yet either. Had we done any Super Nintendo Simpsons games at all? This is our first.
We had talked a long time ago about doing a series on them.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think we've.
And we started, I think, because we did
Let's do
Bart
it.
Bart vs. Space Mutants in the
we
arcade
did.
game, and then we
Yep.
were like, oh, okay, Red Dead Redemption or something.
Yeah, something else came out that was fun.
Let's do Bart's Nightmare.
Bart's a Nightmare.
I'm good
down with that.
Okay.
Stay on theme until we
Another
get
game I
there.
rented multiple times.
Yeah,
I never played this one.
I never
so
played it either,
this
but I
will be-
figured you had because you're like, I'm not gonna have time.
That's,
so I'm like, okay, Tyler's done this one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have you played Virtual Bart?
No, I've never played Virtual
Okay,
Bart.
okay.
Is that a Super NES game?
It is. I mean, I think
Okay.
I shouldn't say it so like matter of factly,
Yes, it is.
but I'm fairly certain that it
okay.
is.
Well, Bart's Nightmare this time next week.
Yeah, Bart's
All right.
Nightmare.
Perfect.
Sounds good. What do we do now? Do I still
Patreon.
say thanks everybody? Thanks everybody for listening to the show. There's shit, but
We're
the
gonna,
best shit is Patreon.
we'll play all the
That's debatable, but I mean,
we'll play all the important stuff at the end. I'm not ready either.
that's okay.
We have a Patreon.
See, you're good.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Patreon.com/tadpog or pisstasters.com.
Taste the piss.
You can donate money to the show if you'd like. $1 gets you access to the bonus content we have. We are.
It's like a 15th of a Krusty Super Fun
It
House.
is. We're working on some stuff that future updates to come. But for now, we do have a list of executive producers. These are the folks that donate $20 per month to the show. And I'm going to read their names right now, like we do every week at this time, starting with Usurper Grimm, Cousin David Galino, Plinko Nick Price, Cubicle Monkey, Enthusiast Jeff Miners, Master Cycle Baron Kevin Link, Joseph Phillips, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, Louisville Correspondent, Princess Consuela, Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Dahl, congratulations on your marriage, Pinball Airplane Archmaze, Chris Edler, we're sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Platinum member Brett Miller, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Nate from Utah, first time caller, Drink Smith Joey Webster, Dig Dougie, Derek Pope Sandwich, and Cody Phillips. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, y'all.
For your generosity.
For reals.
You paid a light bill for me this past month, and I appreciate it.
You're literally keeping the lights on.
You're literally keeping the lights on at Wizen Stage's house. Additional thanks, as always, to our backlog banisher,
Yes,
Dane.
thanks, Dane.
Who freely gives up his time every single week to put our show on YouTube just because he wants to. For those of you that were wondering, I did finally send out all the packages
Yes!
that were at my house that were prizes from the toy box. I have received confirmation from 2 people that
Nice.
they have received it and they like my stuff that I sent. So sorry for the delay on that. Thank you for playing all of our little fun little games. And then I think that's it. I think
Okay.
that's what I've got.
Great.
So, how you want to close this out?
As Krusty
Right?
the Clown.
Yeah. So until next time. Tropical Capricorn. Hey, hey!
TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler, and is available wherever fine podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. We'll even play it on the show and respond eventually. Want to send us something? You can do that at TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. Sick of us doing all the talking? You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/TADPOG Discord or tastethepiss.com. Not many things are truly free these days, but our Discord is, and we'd love to see you there. Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive, and a link to that track can be found at the show notes at tadpog.com. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcasting platform. We really appreciate it.
That's it. I think we got our stinger right there.
I wasn't
I don't know what
recording.
your banana one was.
I wasn't recording.
Shit.
Do that again with the same energy.
Bananas in pajamas are coming down the stairs. Bananas in pajamas are coming down in pairs. Now I want to know what Tyler's banana one was.
This is all going in. This is all going in.
Great. I love it when they say that.
I love it when I get to say it.
We should talk later.
They say, and for some reason the response is always, yeah. And
See if I can find it. I can't find the TikTok that I first saw it.
So the Noozles had a good theme song.
Noozles.
The Noozles.
I don't know that one.
It was a koala bear cartoon on Nickelodeon. I'm pretty sure it was an anime that had been localized.
Did they have syphilis and smooth brains?
Man, those fucking koalas.
Fucking dumbass. There was some shit I saw, some Australian woman talking about koalas
I think
on
I may
TikTok.
have seen the same
and
TikTok.
just
Yeah.
fucking hating on them.
Yeah.
Like they are the stupidest fucking. They will literally starve to death because they're too stupid to see food right in front of their face and stuff. It was crazy.
And they feed the babies shit
Yeah,
so that
something
they
like
can
that.
grow accustomed to the toxic plant that they eat.
Yes. I got my first education on koalas came from the bearded host over here when he was telling us about all that. Now that occasionally comes up and I'm just like, these animals are awful.
Yeah.
They're cute, but they're awful.
They're actually spiders in disguise.
Spiders
Spiders
in
in disguise.
disguise.
I can't find it now.
Can't find the banana. We'll save the banana for next time.
We got some banana content for the stinger.
We got
Good
the
banana
banana content people are asking for. The banana content people need.
My fucking inbox with all the banana content requests.
Enough already.
God, there's your fucking banana content. Jesus.
Classic TADPOG.
Why don't you guys ever talk about bananas anymore? Wait,
Now
what?
it's just plantains,
It's just
plantains.
That is such an Ashley Shake statement that would happen.
That is true. That is a good
I
point.
mean, I feel like you guys used to talk about bananas, but you don't talk about bananas anymore.
You lost your way. I think it's because you added Ian as a host.
I can also see him saying that. Yeah.
Just
No, you never met, man.
I've heard a lot about him, so you know, I don't know.
For the record, I disagree with the imaginary situation that we put in Ashley Shake's mouth.
Oh, that's
Disagree with imaginary Ashley Shake.
doesn't.
We got to be careful because, that's I feel like that's a therapy thing where it's like, did they actually say that, or did you think they said it, and then you
Oh,
you convince yourself that they in fact did?
The Mandela effect, the Ashley Shake effect.
Next year, I actually messaged Shake. Man, okay, I know what you said about Ian and banana.
You need to back
What
off.
are you talking
What are
about,
you
man?
talking about? I never said that. He didn't. I made it up.
I'm just saying. can be dangerous thinking sometimes.
Yes. No. Absolutely.
Like if you're ever taking a shower and you're having like a mental argument with somebody, which I've done quite a bit, and when I realize it, I have to be like
the joke store called.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're running out of you, and I have to be like, fucking stop. This isn't real. You're wasting You're wasting your energy that you need to live. Stop.
You're wasting time and water. Because you're in the shower.
It's not a waste of water. I enjoy that every bit.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, good. Is that it? Was that it? Was that all we were going to say?
That's it. That's all.
Good, because I ain't going anywhere.
Good.
Believe it!